Speak of the devil.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
What's up, Spudcubs?
Hello.
Oh wait, I need to adjust everyone's audio levels. Lauren,
Yeah,
can
take
you
your time.
yell? Can you yell at the top of your lungs for me, Lauren?
No.
Okay. I think that's
Nah,
pretty good.
I can't. I don't know where my mic is. I can't hear it.
That's not the question. Are Lauren and Benzo going to be talking during this? I think I should ask.
No, I'm not allowed in the round table.
I try to limit myself to only the best questions I have. Maybe
Okay.
none. Lol.
Oh, you're going to throw questions at us?
Actually, I had few few to Spudcubs and few just to community as general. So.
Yeah, more to talk about.
Hey, I need a link.
I think I'm going to need to adjust some audio as well, actually.
Audio. Sound.
Well, this seems fun.
It is. Oh, he's muted.
I do that a
What?
lot.
Why?
Because I don't use push to talk. I just yell into my microphone until it hears me.
Like a rational person.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. Same.
But I have a webcam, so if you want me to keep my microphone unmuted, you're going to be hearing a lot of this.
I don't
fair.
mind. I have my own form of random noise in the form of my chair. It does this.
Sweet control is back.
Don't mind Benzo, he's a bit of a weirdo.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
mine sounds like the FTD ship noises when it's creaking.
Now we know something.
I think I need to turn down Benzo.
No, please.
No, it's just
I
you're coming across as loud compared to everyone else.
I was just gonna probably like mute him, but whatever.
No, what have
Well,
I done?
Well, wasn't he going to throw questions at us or something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, this seems organized.
It
really.
really like is.
We
I'm
are
just getting
highly
muted.
organised.
Just getting
Alright.
muted by everyone.
Like a hive
So-
mind.
I'm gonna go ahead and start the game here, so we can at least get in that.
I'm in someone's
Uh,
brain. Can you help?
Are
Oh,
you?
jeez. Never mind.
That's a scary thought, being in someone's brain. Anyway,
Hold on, we need a...
this is where our round table is gonna be held.
Oh
If
no.
it looks familiar, it should for a reason.
I'm assuming it's just a big table with a few mutes and then.
No.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start my stream.
Hang on.
Wooden
I'm waiting.
table.
You're not allowed to say there's no safety or safety rails, because there are definitely safety
Safety.
rails now.
Well, there's no safety word either, so...
Saf.
Safety.
Saf. Saf.
Oh no, I fell off through the one hole in the safety rail.
Not the safety rail.
Oh well, starting fortress.
One, I
Oh,
guess.
Autism.
Jesus. Oh, what is this ugly thing? Get it out of here.
What is the ugly thing? I
Here.
can't see it.
Here,
I just thought it would be
give me a
appropriate
moment.
because it would all be something that everyone would recognize.
Can't recognize
The
it. I
starting
can't see
fortress
shit.
from
Haz, could you put the minigun away, please?
Anyway,
I have-
let me do my intro real quick, guys.
Hang
What
on.
intro?
Hello, this is Damodog82. I am joined today here with Spudcubs, Benzo, I am Mark III, Heizmeister, and Rick. Did I forget anyone, fellas? I'll take that as a no.
Did but sorry.
Today we are going to be doing a roundtable discussion, and from the depths about, oddly enough, from the depths. So everyone say hi, take a second or two to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm not allowed on the round table. I don't think it is either.
And that's why you're not allowed at the roundtable.
Feels bad, man.
Hi, I don't have an identity. I broke my poster. I'll come back to me.
Just
I think I can fix it.
He mutes himself a lot. Even though-
Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Ah,
Just so you know, I am actually streaming this as well.
Oh, they're in the... Oh, you'll get posters as well. What's that shit?
I'm just some random dude who enjoys From the Depths. Nothing more.
that is our resident German Heizmeister.
the brute forces are here.
Are we just introducing ourselves, or do we actually give a little background of what kind of things we do on From the Depths as well?
Well, I think my first question I would like to pose for the group is tell us a little about your start in From the Depths. Who would like to start us off?
Well, I'll go if no one else wants to.
Well,
I'm
who's
still
been here
setting.
the longest?
In terms of playtime, or
Well, I mean,
well, Damon's got 10,000 hours, I think.
Almost.
okay, that just about Damn.
In all fairness, those are like
Why would the
mostly
suicide pill
gameplay
work?
hours.
I wonder what I would put on the poster.
Well, but I
Anyway.
assume I think he's not counting, Dama.
Yeah, go ahead, start us off. You offered to do it anyway, so
Well,
Oh, I did, didn't I?
yes.
Okay. I started off From the Depths quite a long time ago. If you want specifics, don't ask me, because I'm a bit darned if I can remember. But I actually started off with From the Depths actually as a YouTube series.
It looked like it was before APS came out. Am I correct?
It was, yes. It was actually quite a while before APS. We were back in the Simple Cannons.
So yeah, you've been playing
stage.
this way back before I started.
Wait, what were they called? They weren't Simple Cannons. What were they called back then?
They
Custom
were called.
cannons.
Thank
That
you.
was it. Custom Cannons, yes. Because I eventually learned how to make a rapid-fire, high-bore, massive cannon,
Yes.
and then I stopped playing for a while because not because of the quality of the cannons.
Because you felt
It's-
like you beat the game because you built the biggest deck that you possibly could.
I beat the Deepwater Guard. That's the furthest I've ever been in.
That's the best
Meta.
accomplishment there.
Yeah, but I built a piece of wood with 6 missile tubes on it, and I was so
Piece
proud
of
of
wood?
myself. Basically, yes, a piece of wood. This was before we even had beams in the game.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So I might be one of the people who's been with From the Depths the longest, but
Yeah, that's
I've
pretty
not
long.
played it as much as some of the other people here. So
Mm.
So you've seen all of the iterations of the various yellow rubber duckies through From the Depths' life.
rubber duckies.
On the Steam page, there was a duck made out of single wooden blocks in the ancient graphics. It was terrifying.
Oh yeah, I think I have seen that actually. I never
Haunts
downloaded
my
it.
dreams to this day.
Okay.
No,
so,
I like the angry chicken.
mm.
That was
Oh.
fun.
Yeah, that's great.
The
I like
angry
how they've
chicken seems to have
improved it.
gotten angry last I saw it.
I'm sorry,
It
I've
wasn't.
kind
It's
of
not the same though.
derailed this.
Well, that's my start with From the Depths. So
Okay. Who would like to go next?
I'm staring at Heizmeister just because it happens to be.
Should I go next?
I like your videos.
Sure, go
by
for
the
it,
way.
bud.
They're beautiful.
Oh.
I don't understand any of it though.
Well, at least
How
you
about
like
that,
them.
buddy? You
Thank
got a fan here.
I do.
I watched them
Well.
on the toilet, but please start.
I will not continue to think about this. Okay. Yeah, I started From the Depths about 1.5 years ago, I guess. Maybe 2 years ago. Actually, I haven't known From the Depths up until this point. Until a nice British guy recommended it to me. And he said to me that this would be this kind of game I would probably enjoy. And yes, I did. I have been dangerously, well, I should say addicted to From the Depths ever since.
Yeah, I think my
Wasn't
wife's
me, by the
actually
way.
jealous of it.
Okay, this is starting to look more and more like an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. Hi, my name is Spudcubs. I'm a FTD addict as well.
It's still not. Am I allowed alcohol? I'm not sure yet.
am I Mark V? I admit I've got a problem.
Well,
That's
the first
starting
step,
is
my
the first step. Yes.
Jeez, you owe me a
Heizmeister,
bottle.
wait, are
well,
you
no.
done with your introduction, or we want to move on?
Oh no, I wasn't quite finished. Yeah,
I'm
and,
sorry.
Okay.
About, I guess, a year ago, I thought it would be okay if I would do a YouTube series on From the Depths, since
Mhm.
I haven't seen that many German YouTubers doing it. From the Depths series. So I
What
thought,
about that
might as well
Captain
do it.
Black guy?
Oh yeah, he did, but that was some time ago, actually.
Oh yeah,
Long
yeah,
time
yeah.
ago. Was still the time where we had different resources,
Dude, Rambot's
like
like
scrap
kicking his
and
butt. Look,
natural
it's like,
and
oh,
all
it's,
this.
it's a good scratch.
Right.
I muted my
Okay.
microphone.
I'm
Just
sorry.
because I keep
Go ahead.
interrupting.
Oh, that's it
hilarious.
for me.
Okay.
For the moment.
Spudcubs, you want to go next?
Oh, sure. Sorry. So my first blip on the radar in FTD was, I saw Robaz do his little playthrough, and I was like, oh my god, a real-time strategy game, you build your own units. And so I built a Metal Gear for a tank competition. And it was like 60 times larger than the tank that was supposed to be the largest tank ever built. So I was a little embarrassed. I was like, okay, it's time to start building to scale. That's why I build tiny units. Hi, I'm Spudcubs.
All right.
Before we get started, can I just show how outstandingly professional I am for a moment?
Sure.
I've got my live stream up, and I just managed to start the background music. And I've got one
Nice.
person watching. Well,
Yeah.
actually 2 people now. Ooh.
I got Benzo, Brick, and Existence in chat right now. Brick, you want to go ahead and
Also, I think
introduce
I'm
yourself?
doubling audio.
Well,
Oops.
I can, yeah, if you want.
Yeah.
So, my first encounter, it's the correct word for this, was I saw a video on YouTube, of course, with From the Depths, from the actual adventure mode, yeah.
Mhm.
And I don't know how even I found it, but whatever. I maybe not disliked the game, but I didn't know what was going on. And yeah, I seen it. I just keep going on. And few years later, I saw Latrix doing a series from the Deeps, and then I got really interested. Really. Later on, I've got the FTD on as a present on Steam. Actually, at the time when APS was released. So from this time, I was sticking to this game pretty much all the time. I checked its updates and what's going on. I was like rather a passive person in terms of what's going on with the game, but I was still building something. So I enjoyed it. So these days, I guess.
Okay. I guess I'll go last then. Y'all know me as Damdoc82. I have been playing From the Depths since probably just right before APS was a thing. I got I think I said about 10k hours in this. Though as I keep telling people, most of those are offline. I've beaten the campaign at least twice now, I think. And one of the things that I've always loved about this, the FTD community, is that everyone just always seems so willing to share ideas, and I wanted to be a part of that, so that's why I started streaming.
I see Spudcubs plays Roblox.
Do I?
Apparently.
That's not right here.
No, I don't know why
That came out of left field.
No, are you looking about Spudcubs above Spudcubs?
Here, wait a minute. Wait. I've got a solution to this. Hold on. I just need to find an actual image. There we go. There we go.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
home part.
Okay.
Let me just
What did I
change
miss?
this really quick. I gotta get up on the ladder.
Spudcubs, he's
There we go.
changing his.
There you go. Pretty accurate there.
Okay.
Apologies for the
Hey.
derailment there.
Anyway.
This is going well.
How about we start off with our questions for the group here? I'm thinking we could go Heizmeister and this just kind of let go run clockwise.
One question at a time? Would that
One
be
question
fair?
at a time. Yes.
Okay.
Heizmeister, do you have a question you'd like to pose to the group, sir?
Yes, I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If I could just get my... There it is. Yeah, I have a question for the group. And since we are experiencing a lot of patches and fixes lately, my question would be, what kind of things would you see to be changed in the Planet Designer?
In the
Planet Designer?
In the map editor?
Yes, in the map editor.
Oh god,
I don't
so
know what
much.
to use it.
Could
So
be
much.
improved or changed.
That thing is horrifying. It needs a whole lot of simplification. I have seen map editors in so many other RTS games where it's a lot more intuitive.
I don't have anything to contribute here because I am the best person ever, and I've never looked at the map editor at all.
I consider you
I
lucky then.
apologise. Oh, is it that bad? I think that's my contribution then. It's like, I'm lucky not to have looked at it.
Not
Oof.
bad
Yeah,
per
it's a
se.
big oof.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's not a good recommendation.
I'm sure it's
that.
something that the devs will get to in time. I mean, I'm sure they got bigger fish to fry at the moment.
I've touched map editors on other games though that they'd never fixed, so that's not a guarantee unless it's actually put on their radar, so to speak. I don't know.
I just remember games like Red Alert where you could throw together a multiplayer map in like 2 minutes if you wanted to.
True, but Red Alert's a tile-based game though.
I'm pretty addicted to that Warcraft 3 map editor. That really gets my goat. You know what I mean? All those model editing and trigger editing, trigger warning.
Raz in my chat agrees, by the way, on the state of the world editor. He says oof fits perfectly, basically.
Oof, doggy.
Okay, Heizmeister, I guess we'll move on to Ian for the next question. Ian?
Oh, my first question.
Yeah, unless Heizmeister had a point that he wanted to add to it.
No, I don't have any point. That's what I...
Okay, Ian? If you would,
Okay,
please.
well, my first question was, are the high-powered APS weapons hitting too hard? Not the system itself, just the big stuff. As my note for this, by the way, it is, I am asking this because of that planned update which said that the overall APS system strength needed to be reduced. So that's why I noted down that particular question. I don't mean the light stuff, I don't mean the small stuff, I don't mean the entire APS system, I really like the Tetris. It's got really good that, but it's like, are the top end guns too powerful?
I would like to think that everything in from the devs has some kind of hard counter, if given enough thought. But that's just my opinion on the matter.
Sorry, could I be reminded of the main topic, like the headline question here? Because I'm blanking out. It's like breakfast time.
Are high-powered APS weapons hitting too hard? Not the system in general, just the big stuff.
Personally, I don't think any weapon can hit too hard. I don't think there is a limit in it. I think trying to balance one weapon around another weapon in any matter isn't right, because every weapon's supposed to have its pros and its cons.
Isn't that kind of what I said, except less words?
Yeah, it's, I actually floated this question to Dama when I first thought of it, and the response was like, maybe they're a little too powerful at the top end, but it's like maybe like reduce max caliber damage by like 10% or something would be a good effort to try and balance it a little bit, not like what was being thought of in that random patch that was being talked about.
Yeah, now I remember.
Yeah.
If it's like a small percentage, I could probably live with that, but what they were talking about, it just seemed a little too extreme to me, but
Also seemed counterproductive, if I'm honest.
yeah.
It's like, let's make the system hit less. So, by the way, we're going to make the shells hit twice as hard.
Yeah, I remember a Wellner saying something about him being upset by that because he felt it took away from cram cannons.
An additional from my chat, by the way, Raz is saying he thinks all near max size weapon systems, like really built up really high kind of thing, are kind of OP. Not at small to medium levels where they're more limited in scope.
Yeah, but we all have to remember is that those weapon systems are a huge time and resource investment if you want to use them in game as well.
It's true, but it's like balance kind of thing, isn't it?
I feel like the time and resources that you pour into them is a pretty good balance mechanism to begin with.
It can be, yeah. Some people don't seem to agree, though, which is why they're talking about changing some things.
Yeah, I think that comes to skill versus no skill.
Maybe.
I
think regardless of skill, a player should be able to enjoy FTD. Skill should just enhance their experience by making them more advanced.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get behind that.
I think so. I can see why this is a valid point.
I think there might be like a lot of discussion about game balance and things seeming a little off in certain situations. Like, for instance, everyone wants to always balance Steam engines and APS, because there seems to be a disconnect with like how to actually balance the game. And I've raised this point a lot over the past few months over different platforms, but the ammo system is kind of weird right now, where it infinitely regenerates, but also is something that needs to be in game, and it makes it so that it's something that's important in battles but not on the map, because you can spawn any size unit and just kind of go about it, but there's no unit limit, so there's no limits on what you can actually do. It makes it like not a game, it's like a sandbox through and through in kind of a bad way.
It's like there's not enough there's too much freedom for the rules it's trying to put into place.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Like it's trying to allow everyone to do everything so much that it doesn't allow an actual game to take place.
Yeah, it's like say if there was like a captain unit, like you can play the campaign, but you've only got so many captains because you've only conquered so many territories, so you can only deploy X number of units. Would that be a better thing to have?
Well,
it's like some kind of balancing factor for how much stuff you can just throw at them,
or some kind of upkeep cost, depending on how expensive or how much volume your ship have. I mean, your ships
beyond,
have.
Beyond like ammo and stuff like that.
Beyond that.
I don't mean to go on a rant here or start one, so I like to ask before I can start going on a rant. But I've thought about this for a few months. Like Heizmeister, you were saying, an upkeep cost. Most games have some sort of upkeep cost to like limit the size of your military. It's just like natural. From the depths. Oh, go ahead. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking not exactly a upkeep cost that you have to pay. It could be also implemented that you would receive lesser resources the more volume you bring to the field. So an indirect upkeep cost.
I've been mulling over an idea for months. Really, it's just something I do it like when I'm doodling in school and thinking about FTD. And oh my god, sorry, my mind's blanking. I'm a little like nervous trying to get everything out because I like to type paragraphs, and so I'm thinking
take your time. Take your time.
Take your time. That's why
you're among fellow FTD drug addicts. Yeah.
Okay, I just like to give everyone their time. I don't like to take up all the the line.
You're good.
Okay.
No,
so the idea is FTD has the framework for a good strategy game and for a good game in general. It's just kind of trying to compromise on too many things, and then like I'll explain it. Like the ammo system, it's as it was explained to me by developers, it's there to make sure that fights don't go stale, so that they don't just have no ships fighting at all. And under the suggestion of, let's say, infinite ammunition, it's like, but then you don't have to put in ammo to your ship, and it's like, well, you don't in combat anyway, as long as you have an ammo box. It's like there's a compromise there for no reason, it feels, and it's something that shouldn't be there. But on the point of Sorry, maybe I should get some coffee and come back to this.
Would you like to come back to this question later?
Or maybe if I had a written point, because I'm honestly just forgetting about it. Like, I'm thinking so hard about... I'm sorry, what... Heizmeister, I'm thinking about... You were talking about something, and I had raised a point about it. It was super important, and I can't remember what it was.
We can come back to it later.
To be honest, that none of this was related to the question anyway.
No, I know. That's why I'm like... I derailed myself, and I'm like... It
No,
was something completely different.
Well, someone said in my chat, actually, this is interesting, while you were talking.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
So yeah, you were
Ammunition.
talking about some good stuff, so if that helps to reassure you a bit.
Okay.
And,
You
Well,
I
anyway, I
am
think-
gonna get coffee. Excuse me. I'll come back with some
Oh,
written
you're
points.
fine. You're fine.
alright, shall we wait
sorry,
until he
I-
comes back with that then?
Oh no, carry on. I'll ask chat what happened in my
Yeah.
absence.
I just want to bring something up here real quick. Looks like SMS Scarlet showed up. I'm assuming that's Scarlet, one of the developers. Said in defense of the map editor, it is one of the oldest remaining parts of FTD, which is probably true. Which is what I was trying to say earlier. It's probably going to be something that's going to get an update down the line. So, apologies for our criticism. We were just stating how we felt about things. So.
It's understandable that it's one of the oldest pieces because, well, how was the game built in the first place? You need a map
course.
editor for that, wouldn't you?
Of course.
Yeah, it makes sense they're trying to get a lot of other stuff working as well, though. So
I'm actually
Just
very
how
glad
would
to
you
hear
rate
that this is being worked on.
Hmm.
So it's quite an important tool, actually, I feel like.
I'm sorry. I'm
Okay,
back.
so I don't know if you're well listening. Are you still there, Spudcubs?
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. I was just writing down
Okay.
because it's easier for my brain to process written words for some
Okay.
reason.
Scarlett just told me in chat here. Unsure if I should be mentioning this, but no, we've been considering adding ammunition factories in the same way refineries work now. I actually like that idea. Yeah, I'm assuming that the larger the ammunition factory, the lower the cost it would be to produce ammunition.
oh, this is going to tick off so many people.
Yeah, I was gonna raise the point actually when I was rambling about how I forgot about it. Ironically, that the natural upkeep cost of units could be accomplished by resources already in from the depths. Like some people are suggesting bring back 5 resources to make it more like complex and have like crystal and everything. But from the depths has strategic resources already in it. You have resources, which you mine from the ground. You have fuel, which you generate from resources. And you have ammo, which you generate from technically fuel and resources. Or in the current system, infinitely regenerating as well.
Okay.
I think like making an option at campaign start might be an idea. That way, if someone really doesn't like it, they can actually choose to use a simplified version of it, just like with local versus global resources.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I agree, but at the same time, making more than one type of game essentially makes it harder to make a.
It depends on what they think of going with, how feasible that might be or not.
It makes it harder to make it like a unified game balance, though, if you know what I mean.
There's one thing I think I should bring up though before we continue. Who was it that said that in your chat, Dan?
SMS Scarlet. Who's laughing there? Is that Benzo?
Sorry, I watched a shit post on YouTube.
Oh. Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. They said they weren't sure if they should bring it up or not, but I think that people in our comments threads from those of us that are streaming is relevant to this discussion because they're involved as well. Like I've referenced to my chat a few times, so by all means bring something up in anyone's chats, and we might try to bring it up in here if we spot it. So
yeah, Scarlett says critique when constructive means things can be improved upon. I completely agree with that. As long as like we keep things civil, I think we can.
It's the difference between difference between criticism and constructive criticism, isn't it?
Yeah. Which, by the way, while we're on that, I feel like I owe someone out there an apology.
Rip.
I probably said some things to Draba that I could have been construed as probably being a bit of a jerk, and I want to apologize. I still disagree with what he wants to do with APS, but the way I went about expressing those opinions, I probably could have done a whole lot better. So I just wanted to get that out of the way.
No, you're stepping up and you're saying it's in audio recording, so...
Yeah.
I am.
So if you're listening, sorry.
I'd like to be back to the original question about the APS heating and the child size, let's say so. And I think, like, that's my opinion, but
could you gentlemen pardon me for just a moment here? You just go on ahead without me. I gotta mute for a second.
I found it like all the not only APS but crams and actually maybe missiles not so much, but let's say so crams, APS and lasers, when they big, fat, squeeze, like they should pump up really quite high DPS, yeah. And I kind of find it underwhelming even how APS hit, like with 500 millimeters. They should do devastating work, yeah, shouldn't they? And they maybe do, but not always. It's not like up to the shell is bad. No, I mean, like if you have a 500 APS or it's 2 meters of a shell, yeah. So it's a big boy. It should destroy everything. And I have no idea why people just for sake of I don't know maybe making things less OP to make it weaker. I don't find it maybe not realistic, but yeah, as I said, there was a mention already, the thing you cannot build as big as you want just because your resources is a constraint. So why would you limit the DPS or anything in the first place? Because you have already other restrictions. So
this was in reference to my original question, wasn't it? Okay. Let me just clarify one bit though. It's like if you don't have much to stop a high caliber round, then yeah, high caliber rounds break stuff.
Yes.
I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. I just wonder if maybe they hit a little bit too hard.
No, I mean they shouldn't be nerfed. They, in my opinion, they even might be a little bit like they are underwhelming right now. In my opinion, a little bit.
Okay.
But in my opinion, in first place, like for example, you're getting few resources from, yeah, you're getting constantly resources. In first place, you're getting probably too much of them, in my opinion, like per second in general. And the second thing is, as the actual diplomacy things goes in the game and all the things happens, for example, if let's say so, enemy sees you growing in strength, you're getting more and bigger vessels, anything, they should like team up and fight against you, like not only when you're attacking white players and the lightning hoods can join to fight you. I mean, it should be on a global scale. So almost, if you like, for example, progressing, you're already having for your own half of the map. Why the other teams shouldn't team up, stop fighting, and go against you? Just because you can have so big vessels, so many resources, like it's kinda, and then a big weapons would be totally viable because you're going to have to fight against many opponents, and they should hit hard.
Alright, I am back. Sorry for that, gentlemen. The exterminator had to come by and there wasn't really getting around that today, so yeah.
I don't know.
Apartment living.
Does
anyone
agree with my mention, but okay.
What, are you talking more about how the different factions should react to you getting bigger and stronger during a campaign?
That's
Is that what you were talking about?
It's connected to the, like for example, any weapon system that is oh, it's big, so it hits hard.
Yeah, that's something different though, and I don't know if there's
I
any
know,
plans for the empires to have an overall AI like that. At least I've not heard anything about
that would be
that.
really nice. But also, it's not so simple just to nerf this thing, or nerf this thing, or boost this thing.
Yeah, I know.
All
It's never that simple.
It's connected and influence each other. So it's not like only resources or only weapons or only factions. No, it's connected, and you cannot just do something and not looking at other things.
I mean, I really think the solution to all of this is to make ammo not infinite, like I think you said Scarlet had said in the chat they're working on.
Yeah.
They were thinking about
They're talking about
refinery style?
ammunition factories.
If they were to do
that'll
that,
work
I think it would fix all of these problems in the game about balance. And it's because I'm a little more sane now, and I could think that when Heizmeister brought up upkeep cost, I was remembering that if you were to make ammo something like fuel, you would have to produce ammo and fuel to upkeep units. Think about it right now as try to spawn a battleship in campaign. We can do it right now if this were campaign in our little starting fortress. It doesn't matter how big the ship is or how much guns it has or how big the missiles are, because we could fire them if we have ammo boxes. If we had to generate the ammo, like every unit of ammo costs us some unit of, or some number of resources, then it would cost to upkeep that unit naturally just to fire its weapons. So smaller, more efficient units would just be better for the early game. You can make swarm units in the later game, and then having a capital ship and a larger fleet would be something that would feel good, and you would actually have to have a very large economy to do so. And then the factions, you don't have to make bigger and bigger units because there would be a capacity to how much economy can be had on the entire map.
That's true.
Well, what if, I'm just throwing this out there, what if they nerfed the amount of ammo regen and added the factories? Like maybe brought it down
That
maybe
would
like
be,
by...
ammo regen would be bad.
No,
even if it was like 10% of what it is right now.
So
The fact
you
that
would
it exists is the part that's making it a variable of infinite value.
Let's look just at the example of a battle. Yeah, two teams are fighting each other, and but all the vessels are out of ammo. What are you doing then? And also that would be really good that would have a really good connection with not limit you can flee from the battle and not lose the vessels, because then you could resupply yourself or flee. That would be a brilliant option. Or make some bombers, long-range bombers to attack and go back. So I think still, for example, my all units relies on ammo regeneration. Actually, that's kinda dumb, but yeah, I do it. And if there would be the ammo capacity per box would be increased, like I don't know, let's say so, 10, 20 times. Ammo regen would be dropped to 0 or really low numbers, I would accept that, and that would be like a realistic thing and wouldn't make the game if you would stop a battle because you have no resources to continue, then it would really help. That's why it's still there, I guess, the ammo regen.
Yes, that's a point that I saw that was brought up in a Reddit discussion.
Yeah, but when connected to you can leave the battle without losing the actual units, the ammo regen wouldn't be necessary.
Yeah, there was an idea fleshed out among my YouTube comments as well about a localized battle area.
Yes, I'm really I'm addressing saying to this thing exactly because that is one of the best things which can make this game a real game, an RTS actual. And yeah, I would like to continue on that later, not to bring here right now everything, but that's a really good point.
SMS Scarlet had basically the same idea, was to slow the ammo regen down too, but that way so there's like never a true stalemate. But maybe, I don't know, just an idea I just had that I want to pitch to you guys. What if you had an option to remove the craft, when all the ammo is depleted, like zeroed out completely, after about a minute, you have an option to pull it out of combat, no questions asked.
Yeah, blockades don't really make much sense.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah, since
I
it's
think-
only you who can be blockaded.
I think if anything, there should be instead of the blockade system, maybe since they're doing this new dynamic campaign AI, make a what would it be called? Like an AI maneuver for them to go around your fortress or units to physically blockade it, but make it so if you enter,
like a pincer movement.
yeah, but if you like an actual blockade, just surround the thing. But if you were like trying to get resources out to your units, let's say they would raid your cargo, whatnot, and instead of a blockade on proximity system, it would be just battle on proximity.
So Scarlet wants to follow up her comment with, so there might be a natural cap of 1,000 ammo, even if you have a 1,000k ammunition capacity, you only ever regen up to 1,000 slowly on its own. Oh, okay, I think I see what Scarlet's saying here. So it would probably be like a percentage of the overall ammo, not like... I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I think what's being said here is the ammo regen would be done up to a point and then no more. What do you think on that, Spudcubs?
I don't know, any ammo regen would make it so that you're still regenerating ammunition as your primary source of ammunition, and then producing ammunition through resources would be a general boost to your effectiveness, instead of it being that you have to rely on it to be able to even fight.
Okay. I'm just curious if you'd have any thoughts on that idea there.
Yeah, I'm against it.
Okay. That's fair.
I'm kind of neutral towards that one, if I'm honest. It's like having some might be of use, but Spudcub's concern about like having the craft relying exclusively on that's also something to be wary of if it's going down that route. So, but personally, I just want to get my hands on the ammo factory and have fun tinkering with that. Is that wrong with me?
Yeah,
No,
that'd be
no,
great.
no.
That'd be great.
I can see that ammo processors would have a very important place in this scenario.
Can I bring something up about possible ammo factories? Just something that popped into my head that I would just personally prefer it to be like the fuel refineries, because I know the devs like to make things nice and complicated and make it cool, but it shouldn't be as complicated as something, let's say, steam engines, because steam engines have a right to be complicated, but if you're making ammo processors, ammo refineries, it shouldn't be like make a conveyor belt and like the stampers, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to make every part
I'm
of the
just talking
thing.
like you add parts to increase production or increase efficiency, things like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like the refineries are. I think in those terms, that would be perfect.
If they made it big and heavy and not able to be on unstable platforms like the fuel refinery, it would have a great benefit of promoting fortresses and buildings, because you could more easily produce fuel and ammunition and then more easily protect them. There should be more land on Neater for that to actually happen, because we really only have Eriwick and Fishbone, and then nothing else is really flat.
You can also like build like a platform up from the bottom of the ocean, but you know, I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that's nice, but I'm there's a lot of ocean to do that with.
Yeah.
That's true. First question from my chat. Heizmeister, do you have your own YouTube channel?
Yes, I do.
Is it just the same as your display name?
It's just the same, yeah. Just click on my name.
There you go, Jason Standella. Heizmeister has his own YouTube channel. Yeah, sorry. There you go.
So where do we leave off with the discussion? Whose turn was it?
It was still on me.
Just to
I love how much this has come from just me asking a single question about APS.
It's a good conversation when you know it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I just make one quick clarification? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
No, go ahead.
SMS Scarlet said, before I research Scarlet's name, this is Rhea, by the way, so I just want to make sure that it's actually the developer, Rhea, that we're talking to, not Scarlet. So I just want to make that clear for everyone.
Hi,
The
Rhea.
developer. Hi, Rhea.
Hello,
Everyone
Ria.
says hi, Rhea.
I don't. It sounds like diarrhea when you say it like that.
Don't say stuff like that.
Okay.
Well,
just
if
say diarrhea.
Ria's put up to this, but I'd like to think they have a sense of humor. So continue.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Raz, as well. Raz is actually, well, you know how vocal Raz can be sometimes.
Oh yeah.
My chat's
I can
full
be
of
the
Raz
same way.
talking about things. It's just that I've been listening to other people, so I've not been butting in at all with that.
Mm-hmm.
He had thoughts on how APS seems a bit too powerful compared to other weapons in the high end of weapon performance, because it's like they hit harder than almost any other system, and they are also hard to defend against as well.
And
Which is why
they scale almost like lasers, meaning they become very, very powerful once you put a certain amount of resources.
And then he had something about all craft should be rated by their combat power, like surface versus air versus subsurface, and that their difficulty, in quotes, basically only depends on combat power per cost as a possible way to measure
But how
relative
would you?
effectiveness of designs.
How would you measure that? I mean, are we talking about player-made craft, or are we talking about campaign craft?
In general, I think
Okay.
it is.
So how
Like,
would
you
one
have-
calculate that?
I think it's
I'm
like
assuming
rather
some
than
kind of a
single
DAC
combat
account,
rating.
or
Yeah, basically, like this unit is really good against aircraft, but it sucks against boats.
Mm.
You know, that kind of thing. I think. I'm generalising a bit because I don't want to try and drag this back down again into my own question, because we've got this far and we've only had a couple of questions, basically. So, like,
You
you
make a
know,
good point.
I'm aware of. These have been very interesting derailments, but basically we have derailed quite thoroughly.
That's
if
fair.
I'm
Okay.
being quite honest. Last one is about forces being able to withdraw from combat. Basically, what Raz says is basically if a side runs out of ammo and has no weapon systems, which does not use ammo, then they have to retreat, aka get enough distance from the enemy so they can disengage and leave the battle. So I'm thinking that's like if they can actually successfully back off enough to disengage, they should be allowed to without losing the
Well,
vessels. But if they can't get far enough away, then that ship is basically going to be lost.
Well, here's my thing. What if that ship is disabled and your ship is disabled to the point where no movement's possible?
In which case, neither would be able to have an advantage of being able to chase down the other. So
Yeah,
my
but-
personal thought would be they both get to withdraw from combat, but they can't blockade each other until they get
Okay.
fixed.
So maybe like put some sort of timer in there where you have to like wait a minute,
Yeah, it's like,
and then you can withdraw.
Yeah, it's like this craft is marked as damaged. It must withdraw and be fully repaired before it can engage in battle once again.
I like that.
That-
I think
that might
might
be-
be a good mechanic.
Yeah.
And
It's a little
maybe
restrictive, at least on the.
Well, it
repair
doesn't have to be
back
full
into
full
battle
repair
conditions.
because that'll vary from ship to ship. But it's like it will prevent them from being able to engage properly in battles again or harass each other until they've been withdrawn to a relatively safe distance and fixed up a bit.
And blockading could maybe also disable any transfer of resources from
Yeah.
and to the blockaded unit.
Yeah, that might be it, rather than forcing the combat.
Okay.
So that was some extra thoughts in there.
Britt, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I would like to ask why though you want to do any kind of those like restrictions, or like the crafts are behaving exactly this way, like you're prohibiting them from fighting or blockading or anything like that. Why just not let them move? Like you need to transport it back to the base and repair. Enemy fleet can pursue it and actually kill it before it gets to your base and get repaired. Like, why not make it dynamic? Like Spudcubs have actually proposed, and this is really good mechanic. Probably hard to implement, but it would make this game really.
Probably because it's hard to implement.
Yeah,
really,
stuff like that. There's all sorts of different ways. I mean, we're bouncing stuff around, but I think we've come up with like 3 or 4 different opinions on how it might work out already, and this is just among a couple of people. So
But
Yeah.
probably all of those propositions were really restrictive, as I would like to say.
Don't
yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
don't think this
Okay.
is just a conversation between four people, because all of us have our chats and everyone in the Formidev's Discord and everyone else listening.
Yeah, so there's
So-
more going on here, but
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like we have the eyes of the world on us.
yeah, but we don't. We also at the end of the day, there's only a few voices here as well. We can't articulate every version of everything to everyone. Unfortunately.
We're only human.
So I guess we
remember-
move on to Spudcubs' question.
Yeah, if we think that my question has been well and truly murdered and laid to rest, we should move on to Spudcubs. And
Yeah,
let him
it's
go
a
the first
dead
question now.
zombie. Yeah.
I don't have any questions for anyone.
Okay.
You don't-
well,
you have a
you
question?
more than you've more than brought up your fair share of topics.
This-
so.
This is true.
But
Well,
no,
it's-
thank
it's
you for
mainly
bringing
just-
that stuff up.
It's mainly just meme until you dream, boys. Meme until you dream.
Actually, to make this sound more official, Raz is actually asking, is someone taking notes to post the summary on the official forum later?
Well, this
mean,
is
the video's
this is all being recorded, so
Yeah, it's recorded
Yeah.
and streamed. Also, Raz then said immediately after, I'm not volunteering.
Clever.
Also,
don't write anything
Ria,
down from the first part of the stream. Just,
Ria wants to remind us that in these stalemate situations, both sides, when they're too damaged to do anything, the player can always directly intervene.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
assuming
true.
that just jump in with your avatar and do whatever you need to do.
That is true.
in the time
Um,
of, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I still remember back during my first ever YouTube series, I actually got yelled at by some people in the comments because I went and boarded and captured an enemy ship because my ship got damaged, and I scrapped it for lots of resources. So it's like, I think that's another one of those things that some people like, some people agree with, but some people don't like how it can be used and or abused based on what their opinion of that might be.
I don't know if you could really call it abuse if it's something that's built into the game itself. But whatever.
Let me put it this way. I went in with a small boat. My small boat got crippled. I captured a massive sailing ship worth something like 20 or 30 times the resources of Minecraft that went in.
Right.
And I immediately scrapped it and used it to build other stuff.
I see no problem with this because that stuff
I didn't
happens in
either,
real
but,
life all the time.
But the thing is that stuck with me because I still remember it even now, and this was easily like 4 or 5 years ago.
But you also have to remember that was your playthrough. I mean, you do it however the hell you want.
Excuse me, I do have
Oh, I'm always wonderful.
I do have
Go ahead.
a question here, actually.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Are you all aware of Nick's recent forum post about commendations?
Commendations. No, could you...
Commendations?
In short, Nick had suggested, he wanted people's opinions on this. He had suggested some sort of system for making accommodations where you can, in combat, buy more ammo or fuel or reinforcements or taunt the enemy for more enemies to fight through kind of like you just kind of have points and you spend them kind of system.
Influence, you mean?
Yeah. But in a way of like directly purchasing from points.
how would you get said points, though? I guess would be my first question.
I mean that's kind of on Nick. We can pull up the forum post and have it explained.
Could go with
But
could go the route of like having like a neutral trade faction, like
My-
you spend a thing, a neutral ship flies out and gives you the stuff, and then just
My-
disappears again.
what I wanted
Sorry.
to raise about the Nick's commendations though is, do you guys use your player skills or like actively? Because
No.
that would be
I thought that's
commendations.
probably where you were going with this.
Yeah.
Other than the minigun and the grenade launcher, I guess not.
I don't
Maybe
use
I
my
pretty much
clothes.
put all my points into like mechanic.
If it was more invested in like the player upgrade system, where upgrades were something you were encouraged to do more, and maybe if your levels reset per campaign, so it wasn't just more experienced players have more abilities, it was like each campaign you work to get what you have and you get better off of it. And if you do it like that, you can have like more ammo regeneration, so better economy. I mean, I think we already have things like that though.
Oh, you mean the
then more
ship-wide
missile
upgrade
damage.
system?
Yeah, we have skill points that we can allocate.
Yeah, I've used those.
Instead of
I'm-
And yeah, instead of commendations, if we just made those more important and made them like per instance, as in like per PvP fight, per single player campaign. I
So
think
you're
that would
essentially
make...
basically that system's already in place. It just needs to be reworked.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, that I think I'd be interested in that. One thing though, actually, sorry, I'm bouncing back a little bit. It's like using your characters to capture a ship. I think like I would like to see some ways for craft to actually be protected against hostile players wandering over to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like some kind of like onboard defense or something. Like there was those old plans to have crew on ships at one point.
The NPCs I think took up too much computer processing power, so they were kind of just scrapped.
And they were
Maybe just like
annoying.
a small defense turret or something that you could install in a vital area to stop someone getting, well, resist someone, not stop them.
I would ask them for two options. One is just main weapons, and all the weapons actually would track the player and trying to shoot it when there's no major enemies. And if not this, for example, just get rid of the player character in the first place. Or make it that's you're not able to capture an enemy vehicles.
I think this is important and controversial to talk about, and I think we should hang on the topic of Rambot, because
maybe we should.
Because although it's a little more like free look with weapons with how Rambot works right now, it shows that From the Depths has the potential and the possibility to be at the same time an amazing strategy game, an amazing creative building game, and an amazing first-person shooter game.
Yeah, but I don't see the first-person shooter part.
If Rambot was slowed down, maybe wasn't like so godlike. If you were like walking speed, you know.
Okay, but
maybe.
What would be its what you would like to achieve with it? Because I don't see any particular reason why. What would you like to do with it?
Well, let me bring up that before 5 resources was removed, it was kind of more along like you would be able to see it more as a first-person shooter, because AIs were a premium. Crystal was expensive, and to create AIs and shields, you had to save up or really wait and grow Crystal, although you had the chance of being attacked if you did that.
Yeah.
And so you had to kind of focus on either limiting yourself to 1 or 2 units, or just trying to capture.
So it would require actual crew, as it was mentioned, and I think it would be a viable option. Then Rambot would stay.
Maybe just make AI parts cost some sort of another premium resource like we used to have, because it seems like that would be appropriate. Like lasers and other high tier weapons, so that they have a reason to be high tier and do more damage and have advantages.
Okay. I just want to bring up something that Ria's brought up in chat here. Maybe if they were active defenses against the player, like Rhea seems to think maybe some type of simple weapon could probably fill that role in the future.
Probably could, yeah. It would, no need for a full system, just like something small.
I was just thinking of like taking the mannequin and like give it maybe an SMG and call it a day.
And even that'd be absolutely wonderful. What do you guys think about the mannequin being a selectable player model, and maybe like for a game mode, like if you don't want to be godly Rambot?
I miss the copter bot.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that one a lot better than Rambot, I have to say. I miss Scuttlebot.
What about the blocks that were supposed to spawn in the enemy, maybe crew members? Yeah, is it like this? They would just wander around the ship and try to shoot it at you if you would be in close range, and that would be it.
If you guys remember, old NPCs used to actually get into turrets and act as the AI in the absence of an AI.
But they wouldn't have to be as an AI replacement. They would just try to shoot it.
Yeah.
Shoot at you, that's all.
Yeah, it's just a cool addition. I was also thinking maybe controllable security cameras or something like that. Just a small, simple weapon type thing.
It wouldn't be too hard to do. I think the infrastructure for security cameras is already in place.
Yeah, we've already got camera modules in the game.
Exactly. It's wonderful. Now, on the guns that Rhea put into the simple weapons, What do you guys think? Because I think they're a little too complex for FTD, a little too creative, limiting.
How so?
Yeah, how so?
Like the plating on them, the style, the chairs on them, the putting a turret on the actual simple weapon. I understand they are simple weapons, but it kind of removes the ability to do them your own way.
Well, I think the nice addition, just a disable button to make it move or not move. That's all, for now.
Well, you always have the option to use them or not.
No, not the option to use them or not, but to make them static or allow them to rotate.
Okay.
I'm a bit confused by talking about the simple weapon category, because it's like there are some complex stuff in there. Like, I'm really getting back into drills at the moment. And by the way, I want to thank the devs for the recent updated drills, because whatever you guys did to make them actually not snap themselves in half, they are looking a lot more viable to me at the moment.
Awesome.
So I'm really enjoying
about that the other day.
I'm going to make the old death roller from Red Alert. It's going to be
Nice.
fun. I actually got one working as well. And then it chewed through a massive enemy ship, so I'm happy with it.
Someone is happy.
Yeah. What can I say? I've never quite given up on drills the way a lot of people have, and so I like the recent change where they actually work now. You know?
I look forward to your next drill ship build.
I'll try not to keep you waiting too long on that one.
Okay. Where are we at in the discussion then? We kind of went off a tangent again, I think.
In a good way again, I think. Spudcubs came up with a question. So, Spudcubs, did we discuss your question adequately to your satisfaction?
It was just, were you guys aware of the commendations? That was all.
Yeah. Okay, so that means it's Dama's turn with a question.
Did Brick get his turn though?
What?
What?
Brick?
Well,
did you have a question that you wanted to pose to the group, sir? Before I go?
Well, it's just the general discussion about making this game more of RTS style. Like, it's supposed to be right now, but it's not, in my opinion. And I would just speak about, again, the ammo regen and the how battles are actually made right now. But I guess we can leave it for later, because it's a big thing and it would change the gameplay actually quite a lot. So maybe let's chew through the smaller questions and be back to later to this.
So you're saying that basically you just want to see overall improvement to the strategic map AI?
It's not an improvement, it's a big change. Like, let's put it this way.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we can come back to it if you're fine with that.
Yeah, because like it's a big thing. I rather think let's end up everything else, because this will be rather a big thing.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm like.
Then yeah, I guess I would. It's my turn to bring up the next question. So I guess my next question for the group is, what is something that you would like to see added to the game the most? Heizmeister, let's start with you, and we'll work back around.
Okay. You might be surprised about this one. Actually, may I name two things that I would like to see added?
Sure, why not?
Okay, one thing would be a... you all know the gravity compensator, right? For APS. That simulates gravity. I would like to see a component for APS and cramps that simulates increased gravity to finally use some high arcing weapons. That's
Isn't that what
just
it's
a
for?
odd little thing I'd like to see.
So something you could like slap on in the fuse box?
Yeah, something like that. That I mean, your shell doesn't
that's a
go
decent
into
request,
space, just moves in a high arc.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you saying that for crams?
Yeah.
For crams
Oh.
and APS, yes.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I didn't hear the cram bit. I was like, what?
And my second thing I would like to see is another odd one. That's contrails for jets at a high altitude.
Like maybe 300-400 meters plus?
Yeah, like 500 meters and above.
Yeah, just
that's
throwing
high
out
altitude
numbers.
for us. But
That custom jet engines and maybe the small simple ones and big simple ones just produce some white contrails. That's all.
Okay.
And they, of course, could be toggled on and off, like the bubble trails in water from
Yeah,
propellers.
that's something that I think could easily be implemented. I mean, they already do that with the missiles, so yeah.
I have just another thing that I would like to see. I'm sorry, I'm stealing everyone's time here, but torpedoes used to show a bubble trail on the water surface not long ago. They don't do that anymore. It's kind of sad, I think. They should hopefully bring that
it's
back.
not exactly something that would affect gameplay, but just something that would be a nice visual.
Yeah, just a nice visual.
Okay, I think that'd be acceptable. Ion, same question.
well, you already know the answer to this one, since every time we talk about what might be nice to have from the depths, I bring it up, and that is, give me my darn plasma cannons.
There it is.
Give me my darn plasma cannons. Yes. Though, should I go into the whole rigmarole of my actual thought for what might be a decent system for that? Yeah, the one that's a bit like Steam, or
If you
would
can
that be
keep
like?
it brief, sure.
Okay. My thought was like something similar to the Steam system is now. It's like a central source that generates the plasma, pipes to take the plasma to where you want it. Though we'd need a turret base that could actually accept a pipe like that going through. And then you'd have the actual turret part of it, which is kind of like a laser turret right now, like a separate block system part. And that would affect how the actual plasma shot works. Like, it gathers up the ammo like a cram cannon's ammo box does. And then it's like, does it release all of that at once? Does it it's like lots and lots of small shots? Does it wait until it's full charged? Or does it wait until it like can just fire a single volley?
Like the PAC mechanics?
Yeah, except it's like it's ammo based.
Okay.
Effectively, since it relies on ammo being supplied to it by that central plasma generator,
Okay.
like a laser core. So I guess it's like a hybrid system kind of thing.
Okay.
Functions a bit like Steam, but it's more similar to a laser system overall.
You're making
Okay.
my little Rambot parts excited talking about this.
I think some of the discussions are like of how the Covenant plasma weapons in the Halo books is a good example. Like, we all know the Covenant plasma torpedo, long-range plasma shot, big, burny, scary ball of fiery death kind of thing. And then in one book, Cortana got her hands on one of those, and she basically turned it into a plasma lance.
Ooh.
It fired
So
them.
she gave
it
someone a burning
condensed it.
sensation, is what you're saying.
A very precise burning sensation, yes. But it functioned more like a laser because she like really focused it down, and it became. She cut some Covenant ships in half with that thing.
That sounds like some Emperor's Wrath kind of shit right there.
The thing is, though, it was the same turret mechanism as the plasma torpedoes use that did that, but she only fired it a full of times, and then it depleted the plasma turret's local reserve of plasma, and it would need time to recharge.
Okay.
So it's like, it wasn't meant to work that way, but it could. It just wasn't built for it, so it didn't work that effectively overall. Though the bisected Covenant ships might beg to differ.
Right.
But yeah, so it's like that. It's like you have this resource, decide how you want to lob it in the enemy, and watch hilarity ensue. Or if you do it wrong, your ship's going to blow up instead because someone breached your plasma core. Good job, you.
Spudcubs, well, we already talked about that you want to do some things with ammo, but do you want to expand upon that, or do you want to bring up another thing that you'd like to see added to the game?
Oh no, the thing I want to see added to the game, and by added to the game, I mean the main campaign, Neater, the main planet, the thing that everyone plays and new players do. I want it to be expanded. Just literally bigger map dimensions. And interestingly enough, a difference between when gravity ends and where your atmosphere ends, because I feel like jets flying off into space is a big problem, especially when the stratosphere is only so small.
Yeah, I could see how that'd be an issue for you, because you're probably one of the best jet designers in the room that I know of right now.
Thank you.
So yeah.
I can't even build a plane.
No. I just recently tried getting into them, and they're okay-ish, but Spudcubs is like on a whole different level. So.
Well, not just for planes would it be great, but making like a new domain for airships. I know AIs have a limit to their range, and you want all units to kind of be able to fight in the same volume, but it kind of removes the benefit of having airships or air vehicles in general, besides they just go fast.
Why not just
So
paint
like
it red?
a floating
Sorry,
island
what?
kind of map?
I was just saying, why not just paint it red, you know? Red goes faster.
Red goes faster. Yeah, definitely. That's why I paint all my jets red, definitely.
A fellow orc fanatic.
But more ocean and more land, just bigger map dimensions in general, making more nothing, right? Because nothing is as important as something in a game. Contrast is great. To have a great open space to travel your fleet over and to have to resupply over a great distance to try to siege an enemy city, you know, like the Onyx Watch throne that's just covered in bulwarks. Those like that, supply would make sense. Aircraft range would be something you'd have to consider. Fuel use would be something that would be much more important.
So you want to add a heavier strategic element?
I think so, yes, and I don't think it would affect the way people play it as a designer or model builder game, because they would still be able to do that and then do tournament style gameplay without any of these ammo or map dimension changes affecting them at all.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add to that?
I'd just like to reiterate that maybe max the gravity hideout, but keep the atmosphere a little lower so that you still have to kind of shoot through a little bit of gravity with ion thrusters before you can actually get out of it.
Oh, okay. Good. Brick, do you have anything that you'd like to see added?
Well, I have things I would like to see change, not like on big mechanical, or maybe also. But let's start from the probably simplest one. First thing is we have nukes in game, yeah.
Yes.
And they are deadly. I have to admit, but they seems pretty like nah for me. So what I would like to see as a change in game. First thing. Nuke block would be maybe not deleted, but changed into something like a nuke core, let's say so. Like, if you build few of them touching each other, you can actually make a big nuclear charge, actually, and make it work as, I don't know, a big oof for everything.
So you
that
wanted to,
is
like, find a way to supercharge the tactical nukes, is what you're saying?
Well, yeah, they wouldn't be a tactical nuke, they would be an actual nuke. So I don't know, like everything in range of 10 kilometers is...
I know, I was just trying to boil it down to simplest terms.
Yeah, everything counts.
So bigger explosives then?
Not bigger explosives.
Just
the nuke would change for an actual nuke,
just
not
a
tactical.
little blippy thought in my head. What do you think about it being like a large missile attachment that takes up like 4 meters of it minimum? I'm sorry,
That's
what?
my second point.
That is tempting. I won't lie, that is tempting.
I would like to see in big missiles you would be able to add a nuke component, which would be an actual tactical nuke that we have in the game, which would be like, I don't know, 15 times more expensive than like an HE warhead for now in terms of ammo cost. So when it hits, it does nice oof, but it's really like costly. Also, as I mentioned, right now the tactical nuke would, I don't know, cost like one block would cost, let's say so, 20k, 30k per one block. And if you, I don't know, stack 9 of them close to each other, if they detonate, they destroys everything in range of, I don't know, 15, 10 kilometers. That would be.
It sounds like a great idea for a mod, actually.
That would solve the problem of the delivery
I would have fun with
system as
that.
well.
I don't know.
I just hope the safety still works when they haven't been launched from the tube yet.
Yeah, but I'm like saying we have right now the ICBM from the extension, yeah. So those nukes that is carrying right now would be changed for this idea. I like you know what I. The second thing is prop size. Oh, I hate how it works right now. Like you have 3-meter thing okay, that's maybe not big in comparison to, I don't know, few 100-meter ship, but I would like to see 5, 7 meter, 9 meter based, like the power based propulsion system, or maybe add something like for a steam based, something small that needs to take the power from the overall power from your ship and can power the propellers. So 7 and 9 meter, maybe 11 meters props would be a thing, and they would make a big kick, because right now they are like, I don't know, I need to stack 50 of them to make my ship go any reasonable speeds.
Could I just put things on hold for a second? Looks like people are giving us questions here, and the from the depths typing at voice here.
Wait, what?
Yeah, people are like typing questions in the typing at voice in the
I see.
Discord.
Well, I've actually picked up an extra question from Razul in my chat as well. I was going to mention it in a little bit.
So if anyone wants to like respond to those, let me know.
Yeah, I will respond to everything right now. Yeah, go on.
Well, the first thing Flyant says here, I think that's one of the keepers of the lore.
Yeah,
something
I'm
like
seeing
that.
it. Well, I guess if you can spend for a one vehicle, like as costly as one battleship that, I don't know, costs, let's say so, 500k, and you can wipe out almost everything from existence in close range. Well, but it's easy, like, let's say so, relatively easy to shoot down, then, well, it's like everything or nothing. You can take it down with, I don't know, fighters, a lot of AAs, anything, and that wouldn't be so hard to counter, but if you wouldn't defend against it, it would hit hard.
So kind of like the nukes in Civilization 2, where like if you didn't have the like the laser satellite defense, your city would get nuked.
No. I don't like to make like a new one block thingy existence. I want to, as you have right now, ICBM from Great Talons. Just those nukes, that nukes blocks that are in, they would be converted to, I don't know, like 1 meter actual block, one by 1 by 1 by 1, like 1 meter by 1 meter, 1 by meter, and it would make together it would make stronger charge. And also it would to be like maybe not loaded, but actual production of uranium and plutonium takes a while. Yeah. So, for example, it would be a new resources that you need to produce, and it waits a lot, or you need to wait a lot of time to make it.
Okay.
What if they brought it back in the form of crystal, so that we can get that delicious
like
premium resource?
Uranium or something like this would be beneficial. For example, a lot of people wanted actual nuclear power, so it would be viable for nukes. That would takes a long time to prepare, but it would destroy things. And also, you could probably power something, because of nuclear power. Also, the third thing, I have 6 things to change here.
Can we like do? All right, give us the next most important one on your list, and then we'll probably have to move on.
Okay. So the most. Okay, so Spudcubs have said about atmosphere. I would like to make 10 kilometers high, so jet things would be viable, and gravity wouldn't scale, just like we have gravity here, and it ends. That's the first thing, and air thing like would be more denser the lower we are, and just like this. And the actual thing I want to mention is the actual physics, like on the missiles, are applied only when you have no fuel left. Yeah. What about making? I know the more calculations involved, but actual physics would be applied on a missile all the time. But you would have, like, I don't know, the actual motors would take 5 times less the fuel, use 5 times less the fuel, but it would have encountered the drag all the time. so it's not like free to fly as it wants right now because it's totally not physics based. You have only physics applied when its fuel is out.
Well, I don't think it's that the physics are only applied when the fuel's out. I think it's just that there's so much drag in the atmosphere that as soon as it doesn't have any thrust, it just...
It feels like soup all the time.
Yeah,
Well,
but it
the
doesn't
game
feel like
is-
a soup right now.
The game is soup, so that airships can be easy to make. It's
Yeah,
like...
but as I mentioned, it would be for missiles, not for like airships. Airships have already their own physics, yeah.
I know, but I'm saying like the soup in the atmosphere is there so that it doesn't take like a ton of thrust to put something in the air.
Yeah,
And it's
I know.
just a symptom of the...
I really dislike this because it should be denser. But for example, like planes would actually fly because of the how it's called. I forget the word. The lift, because of lift. Like we have right now, it's so artificial for me.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, okay, so let's move on because I'm taking a lot of time.
Oh, don't worry. Do we have a time limit for this event?
Not really.
Okay, then don't worry about it.
Well,
But it's like
Too much, but a lot of people here, though, they're like over in Europe, so it's probably a whole lot later for them than it is
well,
for
we
us.
have it's 8 right now for me and in like East Europe.
someone having walls.
Yeah, I think someone's been improving our studio area here.
Yeah. Okay.
I got
So,
an idea
I'm not-
who, but you know.
Should I continue?
You don't hear
on my
anything.
things, or
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
Never mind the man behind the curtain.
I didn't see nothing.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm sorry, what were you gonna
blocks.
say, Brick?
Okay.
should I continue on my changes, or should we move on?
I think we should probably move on from there, but thank you. That's a lot of stuff for us to think about.
Oh, the fortress is dying because engine, right? Let me fix
Uh,
that. Sorry.
What?
Oh, the engine was taken out, so
I'll-
the fortress is dying because it's losing power.
I'll put it next
Oh,
to the
oh, is that all? Okay.
to the cast of
I'll
Nick's
fix it.
Nick. Just put an RTG and a fuel.
Yeah, I was gonna
thingy.
say, just like slap some RTGs and batteries and call it a day.
Oh, I'll slap it all right.
Giggity. All right. I guess that's the thing that I would like to see added is basically a quality of life thing for me. How many of you all have like placed an engine from a platform and then you're like, oh crap, I put this in the wrong position, or it's the wrong engine, or who knows what? What I want is some kind of reverse mode version of a prefab where you say between these spatial coordinates, I want everything wiped out. That would be my thing.
That sounds actually quite useful.
Hmm
That or an undo button.
Undo button would have been my. Yeah, that's at the top of my list as well.
If prefabs if you could tell a prefab to just overwrite an area, that could double as a delete.
That would, yeah.
Yeah, I think what Dan was talking about was like if you set an area like with a current prefab, but then it empties out that area, so it just
But
destroys all
that's-
blocks within that area.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
dangerous. If you, for example, I don't know, have you made anything like this? You had an engine, and something haven't worked out, like, I don't know, a few pipes haven't been added or something, yeah?
Hmm
And you're going to make the same, you're going to spam the same prefab over it, yeah? Overlap totally.
hmm
And you misplace it by one block.
Mhm.
So right now everything that was like the new prefab where it had holes and the old prefab where there were blocks, they're going to be deleted. I wouldn't like to see it. I wouldn't like to see an actual tool for deleting as a empty prefab, but not one you're making, but as in-game, which actually deletes, not overwrites.
I mean, yay.
But yeah, mostly for me, it'd be like quality of life stuff in the build mode. But that's where I spend most of my time. Okay, I guess that's all my questions. So who do we want to move on? Ion, did
That
you
means
did yours, right?
we've done a
Then we
question
did
from me.
Spudcubs. Brick.
We've all done one question now.
Okay.
So wait, can you hear the voice chat?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Sorry to interrupt.
Who's
Are you sorry? Are you really sorry?
Well, not that sorry.
Doesn't sound
Oh,
like it.
Flyons. Hello.
Slightly.
Hi, Flyons.
Flyons has been lurking in the chat for a while. He just hadn't said
Yeah.
anything yet.
Anyway,
Oh, I did-
Oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, man. Go ahead.
On me, fly on me.
Okay. Anyway, Heizmeister, what is the second question you'd like to pose to the group, sir?
Wait, wasn't Flyons asking something?
Yes,
I thought he was, and then he
Flyons
went
first.
quiet.
Flyons, do you have a question you want to throw at us?
I mean, I have an older, well, comment more. When you guys are talking about nukes, that did sort of exist through blueprint modding, and having seen what something a fraction of the size can do, there's no way that can ever be balanced. There were nukes that we built that could vaporize anything within about 700, 800 meters, and there's just no way of balancing that. Either it costs too much to ever use, or it's a win the game button.
And what would keep you from like completely spamming a position, with nukes and just like utterly turning it into a glass parking lot?
No, I mean, it would be so incredibly blatantly overpowered unless you know it costs so much that it couldn't ever be used, in which case, why even have it?
Well,
If you
if it costs a lot, it would just cost a lot.
Well, there are
But
things to
no
consider.
amount of money that it could cost that would balance it out without making it unusable.
No, so there's a way
It's-
to make it balanced. One thing is a cost
Talking
that is high,
A
not
million resources would be somewhere in the range of what is balanced, but at a certain point, just build a big ship and steamroll everything manually.
well. I mean, a cost would be one thing, and the another you can take it out pretty easily. Yeah, like you would have certain ways of getting rid of a nuke going straight for you, and if you can get rid of it, and enemy had like spent quite a lot of time and resources for it, he'll probably not try to engage with this type of weapon again. And if you haven't prepared for it, you're going to get wiped out. Yeah. For example, like your entire fleet got vaporized, but you're going to know that enemy can throw nukes at you, so we're going to prepare for next time. And it's like.
Drastically- Sorry.
Like,
think
it wouldn't be unbalanced because you're going to be able to defend against it. That's the point.
I just think you drastically underestimate the value of removing an entire fleet from existence.
Oh, okay, it's not like... Okay, it would remove, actually, like, it should have removed things in quite some considerable range,
You
but...
have those in the game. They have existed in the past. Like, actually existed in-game without mods. And people try in their
What range?
campaign runs, balancing
Well-
them out, but throwing away resources for it.
I hate to cut you guys short, but I think you guys have kind of made your points here, but we probably need to move this along.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, on the topic of moving things along, Hector scared me.
What?
Look how small he is.
What?
That really does put the game in context.
I know, right?
You're dealing with meters, like 15
Where'd he
meters
go?
tall.
See, that's small. I made him microscopic and he disappeared. Oh no, I just moved. Sorry. Continue.
Oh.
It's like a poltergeist.
I was tapped out because I was marveling at how many people are actually in the voice channel now.
I know.
I was like, wait
I
a second, what's
hear
that?
people popping in and out of it all the time. This is grown
Hello, new
like,
people.
like crazy. I'm not complaining. I'm
Hey.
glad you're all here to participate. Anyway, we were going around. No, with the question. Whose was it? I think it was Heizmeister's.
Yeah. If we're going rotation, it's Meisters again.
Yeah. Sorry. We. I don't mean for us to keep getting derailed.
I
Okay,
feel
who-
like. May I?
Yes. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, thank you. I feel like I'm having the odd questions this evening. Mine is again about the planet designer
Mm-hmm.
or the world generation in general.
Yes.
I would like to see what do you think of an ability to decrease or entirely turn off the underwater fog or murkiness, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
Ooh, I like that.
Or at least
Yes.
turn
So
it down.
So that there would
Yes,
be
where
a
you have like
possibility.
some way to modify, at least.
So that there would be a possibility to have, well, for example, an entire campaign just focused on submarine battles
Mm-hmm.
that takes place underwater.
If you were talking about
fog would be nice.
and water, I would like to have a
I
simple...
mean, even if it was like something in the options that you can click on and off, I mean, we can already, to a limited extent, control the weather and waves in there.
Exactly. Doesn't have to be mandatory, just an option.
Yeah.
So, anyone else looking
Exactly.
at Spudcubs?
I'm sorry, it's just too funny to me.
Yeah, that's been there for like the last minute. That's been there like for the last minute.
Yeah. Hey, I've done some weird things with him too. Heizmeister has seen this in person, so yeah.
No, that sounds dirty. Don't tell me. I might
It was.
get banned on Twitch.
It was very dirty. I'll tell you about it later. Anyway.
Yeah,
I've
moving
been
along,
staring at it.
please.
Did he ever tell you what the one time I made a strip club in the Singularity?
No, moving along, please.
All right.
Point of
it should
order.
be in base
No,
game.
All right,
Okay.
all right, guys. It's Ion's turn, so let's let us speak.
Somebody missing my Singularity strip club?
Yes, I updated it.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Oh hey Talon, you have your mic turned on.
Hey, well done for that, by the way.
Okay. Go ahead.
Have the questions.
I'm wondering if I should go with my question or if I should bring up Razul's question. I told Razul I would add it to my list, so I'll go with his question then, rather than mine. I can already tell it's going to be a bit of a polarizing one because I've literally been watching the typing up voice channel going on about how crams are too powerful now,
Yeah.
and that's an exact counterpoint
that.
to Razul's question, which is Razul asks, how do you guys consider the balance of cram versus APS? IMO, cram is currently obsolete since APS can do everything cram can, just cheaper, easier, and smaller. And then, ever since that came up, basically my stream chat has been talking about how generally been talking about how cram is not as good as APS, or it's just that they don't have much use for cram weapons in general, which, as I said, is actually directly opposite to what's been going on in the talking at chat channel on the Discord.
I personally feel that cram is more of a specialized weapon, whereas APS is more like a jack of all trades myself. But
I just use cram for fun.
I like cram for like heavy ordnance style attacks.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like they can do a lot more explosive damage.
And cram bombers can be scary too. Let's not forget.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If they hit, that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, though they can have like timed fuses to make sure they go
Time
off.
fuses, yeah, that would be what I would use to try to fix
We
that
all have
issue
one
if
now.
I was having. Yes, I saw that.
These hands. Oh, these hands. Oh, these hands.
I've just noticed.
Bro, my hands are like...
Ion, do you feel like that's been thoroughly discussed for you, or do you have other points you'd like to make?
Well, as I said, it wasn't my question; it was Razul's question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, but the immediate response with all kind of had, isn't it? It's like crams are more situational, but they
Yes.
can still be quite useful.
Yes.
Okay.
That's kind of what I feel.
Do you want what would have been my second question, or shall we move on to Spudcubs?
Well, actually, on the topic of crams, I think they're a relic of the past of FTD prior, and they weren't removed due to it would break 99.9% of the crafts at the time. I think there should be one cannon system. This might be an extreme opinion in the FTD community. I think there should be one cannon system, and if Rhea's putting in Rhea guns into the game, we should either keep it separate from the main game or move completely to Rhea guns as an upgrade to APS and remove cram completely from the game.
Rare guns isn't planned to be an upgrade to APS.
I know, but I'm saying there needs to be one cannon system, not three that are completely different in complexity.
I kinda disagree. Yeah, I feel like there shouldn't be 20 different cannon systems. But one system gets still very fast.
For those that do not know, the voice that was just speaking is Elongated Muskrat, who has joined the voice chats. Just thought I would mention that.
Do we add a statue for him?
Well, I kept
we might
it
have
limited
to
to 4
this way.
people on purpose because From the Depths gets a little wonky after 4 people, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm not playing From the Depths right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a lot more people speaking than before.
Yeah,
And
this is
it's
growing
steadily
like
growing.
crazy. I'm kind of surprised and delighted by the outcome, to be honest. Ion, I guess did you have the question that you wanted to pose to the group, or do we want to move on to Spudcubs, or what would you like to do?
I had one, but as I said, in the interest of time and fairness, I'm willing to let the question from Azul count as mine if we want to move it along to Spuds. So that's up to you guys.
Spud, what do you say?
Oh, I'm gonna search my chat for a question. Doesn't look like anyone has one, so I'm gonna ask, do you guys play any of the other custom planets that are built into the game? Or story missions, etc.?
Yeah, I tried.
Sometimes.
Of the Empire.
Ashes of the Empire, I've done that up until
I've done Ashes as
my
well.
file bugged out. Yeah.
I tried Ashes and Gala.
I took out all the Deepwater Guard and all the Onyx Watch with one plane.
Nice.
Yeah, I played the Onyx Watch campaign and the Twin Guard campaign, actually.
I think at one point I'd like to try doing Glau.
Did you make it through the Twin Guard campaign, though?
No, it seems to be bugged. At the time you have to, well, the objective is to capture one of the AIs, and when I captured it, it showed the failure screen for me, since it considered the AI, the construct destroyed, and then...
Oof.
Well...
Oh, okay then. Still, fighting the Twin Guard is probably one of the worst things in the game. Just because of the sheer amount of repair spam. I mean, I'm not sure if it's changed,
it was... Let's just say my patience has run out a few times.
especially if you're trying to play on Godly, because some of the Twin Guard designs are just incredibly powerful. I mean, the Titan...
I don't know about powerful, it's just they're stupidly hard to kill because, like you said, because the repair factor.
Yeah, I mean, that's mostly what I meant. I mean, if you can get rid of their ability to repair, if you could somehow do that, Twin Guard would be a lot more, more fun to deal with.
Not to be a realism nut about it or anything, but if you made it so that you can only store a reasonable amount of materials in a material crate, then make it very expensive to ship materials, essentially. You know, having to have a lot of material crates for a smaller amount of materials, it would make it harder for repair bots to just be a difficulty scaler.
I just don't think that would stop anyone. Consider also that build big ships. People just build bigger ships.
That's the point. It would cost more.
Well, not necessarily cost more. The ships would just be bigger. I mean, you can still
being
spam
bigger
repair
would cost more.
No, at one point, ships start to cost more in base cost, but you're not going to lose your ship eventually.
Then maybe we should have some sort of an upkeep cost for the size of ships. But
I prefer a volume limiter.
but a natural way, like making fuel more expensive or ammo. But if you make it so that ammo is more expensive, and what we were talking about like an hour ago about ammo processing, if you were to do that, then non-combatants like supply ships would still be able to be really, really, really big with little upkeep costs because they don't use ammo. They just need fuel.
Well, the amount of storage a storage container currently takes is idiotic high.
Yeah.
Well, you can have a slider, you can change how much.
Another thing that would be nice to avoid is basically 500-meter long ships that don't die, have massive cannons that fire at stupid high RPM, is make things less efficient the larger they get.
No, I think just the ammo, removing ammo regen would solve that, actually.
Because
ammo regen is already
so
worthless.
fast.
Yes.
If
You
you,
would-
had to produce ammo to keep up with that, you would just not be able to supply a big ship.
My
For large.
ace cannon,
I'm sorry.
one of my guns already uses 10,000 ammo a minute, and that fires at 100 RPM. And that's not really enough. Like ammo upkeep, even with about 1,000 ammo boxes, isn't enough.
Sorry to kind of interrupt on a tangent. Gladian's in my chat and saying the poor mannequins are being abused.
I said in my chat that
That's
well,
not.
someone asked what they walked in on. I said it's From the Depths trying to be a horror game.
Yeah. No, we should have that as a game mode on this Halloween. We should have the mannequins just appear behind you.
You mean weeping angel style? You mean?
Oh yeah. There should be like a horror survival game where you're on an island and you have to make a ship to get out of there, but there's just you can't look away.
There's mannequins following you with.
Yeah.
Oh God! What have I said?
To their backs.
It's like
What
SCP.
have I said?
Just
Anyway.
173, but Hector edition.
Yeah.
Well, Spudcubs, if you feel like your question's been explored well enough, we'll move on to Brick's question.
Ooh, did I say a question?
I thought you
No,
did.
we're just asking if you do, if you have one.
Yeah, I basically have no idea what's going about.
What do you guys think about fuel-based weaponry?
No.
Flamethrowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although they would be a lag fest.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
that would.
Well, maybe it's because I've just been playing shortest trip to Earth, and recorded like 4 hours of that yesterday. But it's like, what about something like a fuel explosive? It's like you pack a load of explosive fuel into the missile and then lob that at the opponent.
A thermobaric bomb?
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Might be an alternative.
Like a Moab?
Could be.
Wow, you know what? My brain is like launching into this branching things. All right, you go ahead. I'm just thinking of new things, and every time I write something down, a new thing pops up. So what I got so far is from flamethrowers, I thought of, well, what about rockets? Not in the sense of like a weapon rocket, but of like not like steam jets or anything like that, but like a solid rocket that costs a lot of materials, but it's finite and just runs out, and then you can like get to space. I don't know.
No.
Or like be really fast and put it on a nuke so that it just like hits real hard.
You can already do
a
that
solid
with
rocket
jet
component
engines.
for missiles would be nice.
Yeah, like that'd be nice.
We basically got that in the form of the short-range thruster because that's a limited burn component.
Yeah.
But
on the topic, I thought of also simple missiles. I know we have a new grenade launcher in the simple weapons, but I'm thinking of like if the simple weapons are there for newer players to just be able to play the game with a simple weapon, easy to understand, just put it down. Why not have missiles where you have the entire missile system basically in 2 or 3 blocks, but it's kind of weak and short-ranged?
We had that.
We had that?
We had simple missiles. They were horrible. And
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
They didn't work.
Yeah, that was a long-ass time ago.
I didn't even
Yeah,
play
my
the game
simple
back
weapons.
then.
Well,
Well,
they were
fun,
simple
but they
home
did
missiles
nothing.
actually, but yeah.
They
and
were
then
garbage, though, I think.
The last tangent on my little notebook web here is a long time ago I had this rework idea for player weapons. Oh my god, lovely little barrel. Can you make me one too, please?
Yes.
Thank you. So new player weapons fitting into the world of FTD, because as you guys know, the pistol and SMG and even the minigun are very underwhelming. Especially in the later games when you have to hack into heavy armor AIs. Which gets a little...
So can I offer an alternate tangent, actually?
Well,
okay, so basically
yes,
what you're saying...
Could I finish this
Certainly.
little bit? So new player weapons fitting into the world of From the Depths, as in getting like a naval rifle, a handheld naval rifle, or upgrading into a rail gun, upgrading a shotgun into like an automatic shotgun, into like the minigun, having new melee weapons such as like planted explosives and things like that, just to make it like a tree of different things you could do, more like a From the Depths RPG, like we were talking about the skills earlier, but more in like the sense of take vehicle weapons and turn them into player weapons. Like homing missiles.
Well,
like make a rocket launcher you can
that's interesting.
lock on with. That'd be
That
great.
was literally what I was about to say, basically.
I love you. Can I say that? I love you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm actually gonna put something in the FTD chat, I guess. In general, it's I guess it'd be a screenshot of something. Go ahead and talk. I can do this on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So
yeah.
basically, 400mm APS cannon. That's direct fat for Rambot.
That would be glorious. I would love it.
Yeah, with actual recoil, so you would fly back at like 50 meters a second. You fire it.
Am I gonna get that beer that I was asking for earlier?
Do you guys know in the game Star Made how you can fire a minigun at the ground and you go flying? Can we do that in FTD?
You mean fly backwards from like the recoil?
Yeah, recoil mechanics. Here, let me send this this image.
Thing is, if the Rambot stands on top of an explosion and you have your character set to immortal, then you won't die. You'll just go flying. So they already have like a system in place for physics.
Oh yeah, that would be something that would be nice for creative mode, like an immortal thing for like a Rambot.
Wait, no, that's already
added.
Is it?
Yeah, it's added.
Just
okay.
rocket jumps for Rambots.
So in chat, in the From the Depths chat, I put a little diagram I made like years ago when I made the Spud mod. I know some of you played that at some point.
Sometimes.
Around the time I was thinking about PvP a lot, and I was thinking about this, and as it being like every horizontal row would be one like tree that you specialize into, or like put points into, like say you put 2 points into kinetic and like 3 points into explosive, you'd have like a burst rifle and a IR seeking missile launcher or something like that, you know?
Spudcubs.
Yes,
would
sir.
you mind throwing that up onto one of the holographic blocks in the stream?
Absolutely,
not a bad idea.
That would be awesome. I'll throw it up like a whiteboard in the background or something.
Yeah, since I didn't think I had to have my stream prep to actually let me show that on the stream, and I think that we might want to show that for those of us that are actually broadcasting and recording this.
Where should I put this actually? Because you know what? Don't worry about me. I'll figure it out.
Okay. So we good to move on to Brick then?
Yeah, and a simple request. Make graphics in a way that if you want something to be light, like not.
That's backwards. All right.
Well,
Sorry.
how to say it? I don't want to be everything so reflective. I cannot see a shit because of everything is being so reflective, and if it's not reflective, it's so dark. Like,
Okay.
could we change how it was back then?
You can modify that though in the options, can you not?
Yeah, I was dealing with it so many times, and I haven't got interesting results. Everything or got so dark, or it was still reflective in an annoying way. Like, I wish there will be less of reflections. Just that. Nothing else.
Okay. Yeah, there's probably a lot of people in this room who probably had to make a few changes to the graphics things when the graphic update happened, I'm sure.
I mean, graphic updates
It was a really nice
basically
thing to have a
changed the
graphics
entirety of the graphic system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So as you can see, man, this is my little Can you guys see when I put on... Oh, Jesus! I forgot L was the button. I put on the flashlight.
Ah!
I turned my flashlight on, and it did a little more than light up the scene.
When the nukes go off, that means end of thing.
It's all gone. It's all gone. What did they do? No.
Oh, don't worry. We can rebuild
They
it.
blew it up!
I'm actually stuck in a block. I can't believe this. I've become one with the debris.
Hey, at least FTD didn't crash.
I know,
There
right?
is that, yeah. Why is there a mannequin next one with nukes?
The Hector was the first to be repaired. Oh, jeez. Oh, this is creepier than it should be.
I think we know who set the nuke off.
Oh,
Yeah. I guess I should have told people what button set the nuke off, but I.
No, well, I can understand why you
I
didn't.
wanted to leave it as a surprise. Surprise?
I was gonna say, can you guys see my flashlight? Jesus Christ!
Well done.
That was glorious.
Wasn't it though? Anyway, I'm gonna go try to find my seat, but I'm sorry.
Yours was the one with the purple mannequin.
I saw.
waiting
Where did we leave off before things
When
went
did we get mugs?
Think went nuclear?
Oh, that was me. I
So,
just gave us all a beer.
Can you
I've
see
only
my
just
flashlight on that note?
No.
Where were we at? Whose turn was it?
I think I was going to explain this chart here. Is why we put it up here, but
that was what you were about to do before we found the nuclear button.
The make it hot button.
It was to emphasize the points.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like this. I didn't know they did this. You can hide the projector block. I love that. I love that.
Oh, really?
I love it. That's amazing. Can you hide the poster blocks now, please? Because that'd be even... Oh, they made it smaller. I'm excited. Sorry, I'm excited.
I can tell you're bouncing around the room.
Okay, so the idea here is we have 4 trees. Yes, the unnatural kind. So we have 4 trees so far, mid, close, and too close. That's just kind of like my way of thinking about it when I wrote this, to kind of have players specialize if they want to, like, it's kind of like a way to, like, class players, I guess it were. And you can, like, multi-class. But the FAR is like kinetic. You have your basic SMG, and my idea is the basic weapon is all players have the level 1 like basic weapon, so you always have an SMG grenade launcher, shotgun, and like a little EMP burst to like kill AIs. And then like second level of kinetic would be like you get, or not like a second level directly. There's 2 different upgrades I was thinking, like an overclock and a targeting aid. Right? And you spend points to get one or the other on said ammo type, say kinetic. And if you get both, you unlock a better weapon type. But the main idea is you don't keep the SMG. The SMG turns into the burst rifle or the anti-material rifle or the semi-auto anti-material rifle, etc.
Okay.
That's more structured than my idea. I'll give you that one.
And then on the corner here, I have little utilities that would come with each specialization. So if you max out one, you get like infrared, like you can see like the AIC like infrared, so you can see like hot glows, or like handheld laser designator, so you can designate your fleet's missiles by hand. Which would be like amazing to do for like co-op. Designate a player to like do an airdrop of a guided bomb. Or I was thinking a grapple hook to just get in close, and then for like the energy weapon style, since it's like high tech, I would be like a mini ram drone that you can like a little helicopter to pilot through the air. If you've ever played Battlefield 4 and had the Accipiter drone, kind of
Grappling hooks.
Yes.
That's one thing I miss in FTD.
Wait, there was a grappling hook?
There was a simple weapon hook that was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a simple harpoon.
And it had a max range to it, so you can actually put it on the bottom of helicopters and tow ships, because it would like stop at a certain range. Amazing, glorious.
Excuse me.
Bless you, sir.
Thank you.
Someone in my chat is asking who gave Spud sugar.
That's funny. I actually haven't eaten anything all day, which is probably why I sound insane.
No, I think they asked that when you were bouncing all over the room in excitement.
Oh, yeah. No, I get excited when actual things are being done in FTD.
He's passionate.
Yeah.
I like the game. A little too much.
Yes. Yes.
Well, this is FTD Alcoholics Anonymous, so.
I think I'm gonna save this starting fortress here because
Yeah, I mean, I like
already
the most,
done it
yeah.
myself. Yeah.
We should do this
I've
more
seen my own
often,
copy.
honestly. Just a little
This
podcast.
has actually been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying myself. How about the rest of you guys?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
8 out of 10. 9 out of 10 if I made breakfast. 10 out of 10 if I had a coffee. Can we actually? Do you guys mind if we maybe take a segment to if we need to take breaks, but maybe take some questions from Discord chat openly and from the
Yeah, I was
Twitch
gonna
chats?
say I need a bit of a bathroom break if you guys don't mind me taking like 5 minutes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Excuse me. Anyone in my Twitch chat, please feel free to leave any questions.
I'll be
ask
right
them
back,
when I
guys.
get back as well.
Yeah, same to the guys in my stream chat. If you guys want to throw a question at us, go ahead. Yeah, but we'll try and pick something that will divide us all and make us all kick each other screaming into the abyss or something. I don't know.
I probably would address my stream chat right about now, if I had one. So.
Why do we have a tower made of electric engines? Oh, and there's a sign on top saying "Made you look." Yes, you did. What the heck?
It worked.
It did.
You fell for it.
Honestly, though, if we do this again, I think we do need to kind of organise it a little bit better.
Excuse me, emergency interruption.
Emergency interruption?
Yeah.
Yes, Gladian, if you're here listening, mannequins, put a URL tab like the poster holders so that we can insert face textures. This needs to occur. That is all. I will be back.
Oh,
I can only guess where this is going.
Well, I just found the sign next to the big newt that says "Hug me."
Nice.
Kind of like a brain jackass now.
At least the build tooltip gives you the maximum shell length.
No one ever reads the tooltip. Come on.
No one ever reads the tooltip.
Actual names, like tags or names, some kind of this things for APS customizers. I would like to see it in game.
Yes, maximum shell length 0.66.
Okay. Negative.
No, I'm streaming YouTube.
Okay, hold on here. I can send mine.
We never posted stream links onto the FTD Discord, did we?
Well, not.
True.
Okay, thank you, Ria.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Sent me a
Thank you,
message,
Ria.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh, new subscriber?
There's
Thank you,
mine.
Xenodread. Oh yeah, didn't they add video blocks recently?
Right.
Indeed.
Oh.
Just to let you know, I'm just trying something out, just, in case FTD crashes.
Okay, yeah, just don't blow us up. That's a very good question. Maybe it's
I feel
something we should test out?
experimentation might be in order.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I've never touched one of those blocks, so I don't know how to set one up. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Alright, that's amazing.
Nice. Okay. So, I have another question I'd like to pose to the group here. Is it my turn?
someone said it works fine with YouTube. Yeah, Flying said it works directly with YouTube.
No.
Problem is, I don't even know where the video block is though, so I'm struggling to try and set one up.
My next question is a bit of a two-parter here, if that's okay.
Go for it.
My question is, how do you guys feel about the level of complexity from the depths? And do you feel that the community would benefit a lot more from like official tutorials than what we currently have? I agree. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So kind of something like that rocket boat that we always start with, except make it a little bit more, give it like different, like a different type of weapon system for each, and give it like the simplest engine, simplest AI, simplest everything. Well, I could see that working. Just I don't think I would have it like in the campaign, but maybe like some kind of maybe like sandbox learning mode. I could see that being a thing.
I like text though. I like some text, but story mode is. It's been around a while. Story mode. It might need another pass, kind of, if that makes any sense. Because the game's changed since it was put in.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's something that I have come across in From the Depths a whole lot, is that there's always more than one way to skin a cat, for lack of a better saying. But yeah, there's an infinite number of ways to do anything in this game, and I can see what point you're trying to make here, Spudcubs.
I have returned. What did I miss?
Ion, what do you think? You've probably been playing this longer than any of us here in the room. What's your opinion?
I think a quote from the guy who invented the light bulb might be a good thing to have here. A question
The
put
guy
to
that
him was,
invented the light bulb, or the one who ripped it off?
Yeah. Either or. The question is, how did it feel to fail 1,000 times? And the answer was, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways not to do it. So, like, if it's not quite what you're expecting, then this game gives you so much flexibility to keep on going and find your own way around it. And I like that about this game. It's why I keep coming back to it.
Because there's always something new to learn.
Or something new to blow up. Preferably both. Preferably both. Yeah. Give them a really simple way to do it. Like, this is this, that is that. And then give them examples of other ways to take it further. And then let them work out what appeals to them.
Same here.
Oh, jeez.
So you're saying instead of like doing video tutorials, we should have interactive tutorials? Okay. Heizmeister, what do you feel about that?
Actually, I don't know. I haven't played any of the tutorials. I have acquired the little skill I have by trial and error, to be honest. So I can't give you that much input on it. I've never really thought about it as well.
Okay, so how about the current level of complexity? How do you feel about that then?
Well, as someone who hasn't even scratched the surface of From the Depths possibilities, I'd say the game is very, very complex. It's probably hard to learn and even harder to master. But once you master a certain aspect of the game, it feels really, really rewarding, at least to me. The best thing I could compare this to would be, the X series, the X Universe series. It's really hard game to learn, actually, and has no tutorial whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I think
I'm kicking around with it. I know what you mean.
For new players, I would love to see some tutorials. Just interactive ones, that is, not just read the text, follow the instructions. Maybe let them play around a bit, figure things out, but give a sort of a guidance. But yeah, don't let them follow instructions.
Some tutorial systems I've seen had like this gave you a general idea of what they wanted you to do, but then there was an extra hint button which you could press to give you specific instructions if you were struggling with something. You mean maybe something like that? It's like
Yeah,
you can get
something like
get
that
more
could
details if you want it.
Just don't do it like well. I would compare this to instructions from IKEA how to build a furniture. I mean, that's the most direct instructions you could get.
Does anyone want a flat pack ship?
Yes, yes, please.
No.
No.
I think
this guy
Rambot's
did
always
it.
been floating.
I'm comfortable floating in the middle of the wooden block.
Yeah, like right now I've got a chair in a 2-block high space, and he essentially has his head sticking out the ceiling, so I have to make a hole, and that's not a good thing.
What about if it was like a dock? Like you could select how high a character on the seat would float above it. I can't say I knew that. No.
Nope.
Hmm. Brick, how do you feel about the question I just posed, sir?
The complexity of the game.
Yes.
Well, and the tutorials or not?
Both. Like I said, it was a two-parter.
So let's start from the tutorials. I tried to play one, and probably, I don't know, have I actually finished it or failed? I don't know. But I know shortly I moved to experimenting on my own and probably watching some YouTube videos as a tutorials, which can probably be faster. Like, if you don't know what you're pressing, you don't know what you're doing, a video tutorial is way better in my opinion, at least for beginner. And then moving on to the complexity of the game, it takes quite a while to probably understand what's going on, but when you finally got it, well, I really love the game is complex. I can only probably make a comparison to Factorial. Like the vanilla Factorial is maybe not so complex, but I like that you have to do something to figure out how to do something to make it optimized. So yeah, that's why I play this game, because it's sandbox and it's complex. There's a lot of things you can do and change by yourself. That's what I enjoy.
Okay. So basically what I'm getting from the group is we are comfortable with the level of complexity, and the game is as complex as you want it to be. Is that what I'm getting?
Yes.
Yes.
That's about my input. That's why I play this. I like the complexity, but the thing is, you jump in first. You just sink or swim. It just chucks you in. Right here's an APS with 50 different bits on it. Go have fun.
That was
like
Concraft.
Oh, sorry.
Did I miss anything?
Change the head type.
What?
It's on the.
There's a head type?
Yes.
What?
Weep audience.
Have I missed anything important?
Every day was.
Sorry, I had to go look. Do we want to start with another question, or
have I missed anything important?
May I say something?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Kind of a personal matter. Just if any developers are listening, please don't let Dangerous Waters die. The campaign, I would like to see it revived.
It's already dead.
No, please don't say that.
I don't know about it being dead, but maybe like more or less in, I don't know.
It's dying, yes.
Protective custody.
I'm pretty
Are you sure you don't mean life
that's-
support? Which one? One is related to dying, and one is not so much.
Yeah.
Dangerous waters. The devs aren't planning to do more work on this. Like, there aren't.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. Yes.
Okay, and were you in the server when basically Nick said he was going to add ship girls?
Add what?
So
Add what?
okay, so basically General completely lost its shit when Hikari decided to ping at everyone in news that Nick was going to add ship girls.
Mm-hmm.
If,
Oh, I remember now.
Yeah, if we
Ship-
want you,
I'm not quite hearing. Ship girls?
Ship girls.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, from that
You
one.
mean the figureheads?
no,
No,
I-
no, no,
No,
no.
no.
That's
It's
in the game
anime.
needs though, figureheads.
It's
What?
an anime, I believe.
Oh. Oh.
I meant to weep shit.
Oh, I think I know what you mean now.
Yeah.
Am I still able to be heard?
Also, why am I the chef? I've just noticed what hat my
I
mannequin's
don't know.
wearing.
I'm the one
Why
with
the
the
heck
cat
is-
ears, but I have the cat, so I guess that's fitting enough for me.
Am I
Yeah, why
still
the heck
able
is
to be heard?
I'm a terrible cook. Why am I
I
the
don't know if
chef?
I've missed anything important.
I don't know. I'm still wondering why the hell you're green. Green's my favorite color.
Oh, actually, sorry. Bacon's TV is mentioned in my chat. It's not ship girls. It's just AI personalities.
Yeah, he basically said it was ship girls. Yes. Yeah.
Does someone need to change their pants?
Nick.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, fair enough.
I need to be right back.
Weebs.
Yeah.
Wee. 4chan is a wonderful place.
I've never been there personally.
Hmm. 4chan update? Yeah, it's stay away from 4chan.
Don't want to. I feel as though I'm slowly
Is there
getting
anything else
absorbed.
anyone wants to bring up?
Which question were we on?
Our tank track's cool.
Oh hell, I don't even know now.
Yeah.
I've not got around to trying them actually. I want to have a poke at them because I've built a lot of tanks, but I've not actually had a chance to get around to it. I keep getting distracted by building other stuff when I'm on the game.
Finally fixed
I know,
this.
right?
Oh, Casey in my chat says, set me to all-terrain mode like one of your French AIs.
Oh yes.
Wee wee.
We indeed.
Horn, horn, horn.
And two things I wanted to mention actually that came a while ago, but got buried in the shuffle. When we were talking about fire weapons, someone in my chat suggested fire barrels as something to throw at the enemy. And
They haven't played
someone
Donkey Kong?
yeah, I have, yeah. And someone in actually this was in the typing at voice. I forget who it was though. I think it was Lupus. Apologies if it wasn't, and I'm misremembering. I think it was Lupus, but this was a bit ago. Suggested like a fire effect on blocks, like EMP. But by that, I think actually it's more like you can ignite a block and set it on fire.
Well, there was a lot of talk about that a bit ago.
What's spawned?
Well, like 7 months ago, and basically it will take way too much computer power to actually load all that, because FTD loads every block 40 times a second. And to actually adjust the health value, it would get very laggy very quickly.
Yeah, so if a lot of stuff was on fire, it would really
Yeah.
get in the way, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, someone
How
was
about
basically,
them, actually?
I'm going to mod in fire in a month time or something. Never heard of the person again.
What's that behind Spudcubs?
I was wondering that myself. I just saw that appear. Like, the crap is this?
Looks like a smiley face.
It looks like some kind of robot or something. I don't know.
Oh, it's Knuckles from the one meme.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay.
Uganda Knuckles.
Some normie shit.
Do you know that way? It's
Oh, I see the feet now.
Yeah.
the feet.
I have a question for you all.
Okay.
Since we have simple weapons now, the World War II guns, how do you feel about some old-timer weapons like ballistas or catapults?
Yeah, fine. Well,
I mean,
catapults not really, but ballistas.
No.
Ballistas, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you just mentioned that in my stream chat, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Ballistas, you could get them to work, but it's going to be pretty hard to balance.
It's an interesting idea, but they'll be absolutely useless because there is nothing that sits still in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, those are
Exactly.
things that are
That's
in forgotten
arguable.
shores.
Yeah, and catapult will just be too little range.
Well, technically, it'll be like a low velocity cannon at close range.
It's
I
mostly
was
just
more
for
thinking
cool
of-
points.
Those can work.
I was more
Or maybe
thinking
just grappling hook launchers, like simple harpoon.
Hold on.
Hey,
I-
they removed the Gears of War symbol from the minigun.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw that too.
if we were to get a ballista, I would think it's of like something that would fire a cannon shell with damage of a simple of one small missile, high explosive warhead or something. Yeah, but I don't imagine it to be that useful. Don't take my words. I'm not a developer. I'm just a random person in the chat that talks a lot. I've like 50,000 messages in 8 months.
Okay. I just want to say, guys, I was thinking, no, maybe we should wrap this up in about 30 minutes or so.
Well, we're at 2.5 hours just gone, aren't we?
Yeah, it's almost 3 o'clock my time.
It's been quite a while.
Yeah. So,
The heck's
maybe
going on
we
with
ought
Spudcubs?
to, unless anyone has any questions that they'd like to pose for the group, maybe we ought to start taking questions from our chats.
Is there
To
some
wrap it up?
Is there
I
some
think-
method of spawning land vehicles in the land designer?
Just spawn them in.
Okay.
Also, there's a designer with no volume limit if you're using that.
Oh yeah. Actually, I'd like to pose my second question, if I may.
Go for it.
I'm going to ignore the other two because I think yeah, we have been going on for a while. So yeah, the second question for me is do you think that the game would benefit from having the simplified shields suggested in the forums recently in addition to the existing shields rather than instead of the existing shields?
What's
What do you mean by the?
Hold on, like
it's like
The
a bubble
the ones that aren't affected by velocity have a fixed percentage
Okay.
chance to deflect stuff. You know, those ones that aren't as involved, but it might be a more readily installable / understandable thing that could be of use,
Okay.
but aren't a replacement.
Two-parter
Okay, can I have
here
a second
before I address your question initially. I think I need to address that one of the biggest unsung problems of From the Depths is bloatware from times past that makes the game more complex unnecessarily, doesn't affect gameplay in a positive way, and just makes it harder to balance the game with old systems that worked in an ancient way, such as if we kept the old oil processor fuel refineries, the 2-meter ones, which some people still do use. You know, it kind of makes the game a little unstable.
Well, let's be honest here. I mean, how many of us here probably still have a prefab of that lurking around somewhere?
I do.
I
I use
don't.
it all the time.
I do. So,
I don't. I have
Uh,
Cheap.
I'm selling them for $20 a piece.
A lot of the bigger workshop designs seem to have them nowadays as well. If old blocks are just removed from the game, it might just help.
I asked the question though because that was one of the things being batted around in about a patch to try and rebalance how strong the APS was on the forum, and it was like a simplified version of the shields, which I honestly was quite dismayed to see because I like the complexity of the current shield as it's affected by the nature of the weapon hitting it and the nature of the ship, the angle of it, that kind of stuff. And I wasn't too thrilled to see it be like, you have a flat X percentage chance to deflect the incoming shell no matter what, you know?
Okay, I mean, I get your point, but I think that just having a bubble shield system, something like that...
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
...a lot better than just what we have now. I mean, the current state of shields, they're just a pain to set up. Honestly, a pain to use because frag, for the most part, can just bypass shields.
So, I saw a screenshot, I think it was on the forums, of something that looked like the particle cannon loops.
I know what you're talking about. I looked at it too. That was a new system? Shields? Yes.
Okay, I think that would be cool because then you can localize shields to certain parts of a ship as like a bubble shield, or just do your entire vehicle. And it would be easy to, if it gets damaged, it would disable your shields, and it'd be another way to kind of make the game like a cool strategic combat game.
I think I'd like to mention, by the way, I came up with that question before I heard the official whisper of bubble shields being considered.
I think people have been talking about bubble shields for years now, because it's just the current shield system is just, it feels like a placeholder, but it worked. It worked to a degree when Crystal was there, but I only played the Deepwater Guard early game when the game was that young, so I can't really say for the later parts of the game.
Something I thought would work really good for the system of shields is basically the same system they use in the Boreon, where it like makes a bubble shield like maybe a couple of meters away from all the blocks. But I don't know if that would be too hard to implement or not. But that's the way I'd like to see a bubble shield done anyway.
Yeah, like a centralized shield core kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think the way it would be done, if it were up to me, would be kind of like the fuel refinery system as well. Like a very large, having to protect it, it's expensive, it weighs a lot, potentially. Or maybe like a smaller shield module. Maybe something like steam engines where there's differentiating sizes of shields.
What does it say about me that the moment you mention a new kind of block you can tinker with and customize the layout for with Tetris, I'm immediately interested?
Yeah.
That sounds like Ion, yeah.
Because I think that's kind of the main draw from the depths is balancing efficiency and effectivity and scaling the size, and that's just the most fun of building like a big battleship that does everything.
Yeah.
No,
I think that's also part of the fun of the game too, is like making your big super battleship and just like crushing the campaign too. I mean, from the depths is what you make of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also where the reward of the system comes from as well. It's like you're able to customize the system to your satisfaction.
You have to keep in mind, however, that satisfaction comes from overcoming restrictions and obstacles. And so having the game world where it's letting you do so much that you don't have a challenge is kind of counterproductive to it being a fun game.
Which is one of the great things about doing Ashes of the Empire, because you had that block restriction.
Yes, I think that makes it like a you can compare it to like StarCraft and Warcraft, where you have the or any modern RTS with a supply limit to it. So that's what it feels like, but instead of the size of your army, it's the size of your individual units.
But then again, you're the only one who puts the limit on that. I mean, you can put a personal limitation on yourself, how much volume that you want to do.
Well, I think at that point, if you're putting artificial personal limits, that's when the game's not inherently fun. That's when you have to have a player that has a strong imagination and is interested. This game does give them the platform for that, but for players that aren't actively seeking that out, this game won't appeal very much.
Well, what about this? Why not just have like a some kind of a slider that would modify experience where you're only allowed to have units of a certain size?
Actually, I was gonna raise this point. What was it, like 2-3 hours ago? How long have we been on this? But we were talking about player skills, and I was thinking, not exactly like limit the players in campaign, but maybe. So you know how you have like a weird progression in the campaign. You can kind of do whatever you want. What if we were talking about resetting the player skill level per instance, like per campaign? What if you put skills into bigger volume units, or to have more units per fleet, or more units altogether, or
I
have
might be able to get on board with that.
Stronger economy to support said units to make it even more natural. Because
someone putting in a ceiling.
It's cool. Yeah. That's cool. I think it would add a. Oh my God! Hello. Hello. It add a layer of choice to the player to choose a lot of units, stronger units, or bigger units, because you can even spend those player points into just upgrading your weapon effectivity, because that's already in the game as it is.
Okay.
I like how the room has just evolved the longer this has gone on.
I know. I think it's great. That's been like a pretty awesome part of this whole roundtable thing, because it's like it just kind of grown with the discussion. I love it.
It just keeps happening. I like what's going on. We should schedule another one of these, maybe in like 2 weeks or something.
I was thinking like a monthly kind of thing.
Monthly, that works.
Yeah,
that works better.
He's got like a spin block with a chair attached to it down there, I think. I had to take a peek at it early because I was wondering how the hell he did that myself.
Yeah, just don't press don't press any weird buttons. You know, I'm still next to the nukes.
Actually, I think the ACB that triggers the nukes has been removed.
I
so
know.
yeah.
Just don't hit the Q when you're looking directly at the nuke accidentally. You know.
And don't cross the streams.
Don't cross the streams.
Yes.
Actually, on that note, I want to talk about rivers. They don't exist in FTD.
That would require flowing water, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, well, like, you don't have to. Just make like a. Maybe don't call Eriwick River a river, or maybe just have like it encased by higher ground, so that you can kind of just use your imagination to think of it as elevated water, but it's like on the edge. It's like in between cliffs, like a canyon.
We already sort of got rivers.
The problem with this is that the entire terrain system from the depths is ancient. Yeah. The entire system is just incredibly old. It doesn't work for the most part.
If we like, I would love to rebuild the Neater map to like dev specifications, but like bigger and combining like doctrine of players who want to build on land and in air, or
that's still Helios.
Yeah. Well, I know, but that's Helios. That's not the main game. You know, my goal, as like all the talks I do on YouTube and being critical, I'm trying to make the main game like successful as when players started, not exploring it for mods. Although the mods are great, and like Helios is like so much work, quality has been put into it. But it's like I struggle when I see new players or big streamers play. Hey, we're gonna play From the Depths. Oh, what is it? You know.
Yeah. This game can have that effect. Yes.
I feel like that's mostly tutorial. That's.
I probably spent a couple hundred hours watching tutorial videos before I actually started trying to build something. To be completely honest with you guys.
Really?
Somehow I managed to get guns to work.
I dived in. I built a wooden junk heap, and my first ever laser boat didn't actually have a functional laser, but I didn't know about it, so I launched into a fleet battle with this ship thinking, ooh, I'm going to light things up with my laser, and then it's like, oh, it doesn't work.
Rest in peace.
That didn't go so well, let's put it that way.
I spent like 50 hours trying to figure APS out. Something.
I remember the first time I tried to play the campaign. I tried to play on expert, I tried to play an expert campaign with, I don't know, 50 hours in the game. I got my ass kicked on the first battle.
Alright, first time I've tried campaign was with like 200 hours.
One of the most confusing things to me for like several thousand hours of gameplay, even going on Wikipedia to research and like understand it, APN guidance.
Yeah,
Augmented proportional navigation guidance. I understand it now, but like being a missile part and thinking, oh, this might be cool to put on, I didn't understand what it did, how to use it, what it would be good for. It didn't explain it to me very well.
Yeah, I'm just not bothering with it since I heard it has codes and I'm...
Oh, it's amazing for killing maneuverable air units and for making glider bombs and in general for chasing fast things. I can explain it to you later off of this. I don't want to go up 20 minutes talking about like animals and predators and line of sight.
I've kind of quit FTD. I'm building a battleship with 24 APS cannons, and it's taking a toll on me. And with Draba's planned APS change, that would turn my battleship cannons in real guns, and I spent 5 hours on those cannons.
I mean, if you guys want, we can do one of these talks one day, but instead of like a trading opinions, we can trade like you know, we're all kind of like from the depths experts to say. In like a weird veterans?
Not really, no. Yeah, veterans.
Veterans. But we can trade FTD knowledge. Like I know you guys were saying like, what is that noise? Oh God,
Benzo.
What is that noise?
Benzo, get out, please.
Jeez. Oh Lord, what is that sound?
Is he messing with the chair again?
He is.
Sure.
Yeah, that's why I muted him from the beginning.
Basically,
why don't we have like a server admin with the server mutes in here? Anyway,
Ria, do your job.
What was I even talking about? That sound completely threw me off course.
Yeah, we were talking about the training tips, I think.
Oh, you guys mentioned jets and like, I'm more into like the science of how vehicles work in this game, and I like seeing your guys create like creative processes, and I think we can have a day of like trading information and like styles. And like, for instance, I see Heizmeister's recent video on his helicopters, and I'm just like looking at that, like, those are some tasty looking helicopters.
Doesn't that thing remind you of an MI-21?
Wait,
it reminds me of an MI-24. I don't know what an MI-21 really looks like.
I thought the MI-21 was the Hind. Am I thinking of the 24?
I thought the
MI-24 was the Hind, yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting shit mixed up. My bad.
I'm sending a quick screenshot of what my current
at the same time,
looks like.
I have this pet peeve about helicopters in the game being run by jets at all. Like, there's one on the workshop right now that's a hovercraft with its AI. It has some really nice tilt rotors, I think. Or wait, no, I'm confusing two different ones. There's like a single rotor helicopter that uses hovercraft AI, but it goes back and forward, maintaining distance with jets. Which I'm like, that's cool, it looks nice and all, but I'm just like, you could do it without it, and it would be cool too.
You couldn't for the longest time, though. That's become a lot easier with the recent changes to spin blocks, which allowed them to respond the same way as jets do.
Well, you could still do it with a Detti blade on a spin block back in the day.
Yeah, you could, yeah, but as I said, it's a lot easier now, but I don't think people have really, in general, caught up to that yet. Yeah.
I mean, I was going to do some tutorials on it. I'm lagging behind in my work. I'm trying to put out these... Have you guys seen... I'm doing, like, weird, simple builds. Trying to use them as examples for tutorials, but I'm lagging on it, so...
What's that music going on in the background?
Someone's phone's ringing.
That's coming from Yukov, whoever that is.
Oh, sorry!
Yeah, it happens, don't worry about it.
It's like a cell phone in a college lecture. It's just like, who is it?
I thought an interesting way that we could wrap this up, because we got about 10 minutes left, is each one of us here that's a part of the group, Ion, Spudcubs, Heizmeister, Ion Mark III, and myself, we could give one tip for From the Depths and sign off.
Oh, that'd be great.
You mentioned me twice. Do I get 2 tips?
Did I?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You said Aeon and
never use particle cannons, bald men.
No, on that note, what happened to Mark II? It's just
we don't talk about that one.
Yeah, we don't talk about Mark II.
It was quite unfortunate.
Not since the incident. We don't talk about
He
it.
came from a vat, so that's why it's the third one.
All right, so
I told you that in confidence, darn it.
How about we start with Heisey Boy and we go clockwise?
Okay.
Okay, so I should give one tip to From the Depths. So what to improve, basically? Or what do you mean by this?
Just
What kind of
a tip to a
gameplay
player.
do you have? Yeah.
For new players?
Any
It
player.
doesn't matter. Any skill level.
Any player, okay. Well, I would say that doesn't matter if you can build very a craft that's very efficient. It just matters that you have fun with it.
Excuse me.
Can I give a quick tip too?
Sure.
With APS, you have the autoloaders. There's a slit in it, especially with the belt-fed autoloader.
There's only one slit. Yeah, I noticed.
Yes, and the clip goes in there.
Yes.
I spent 10 hours trying to figure out how a clip goes into a belt-fed autoloader, and I finally figured it out.
Awesome. Thank you for that, sir.
That tip came from elongated muskrats, by the way,
Yes.
for those.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, I'm just getting the joke in that name now, and it hurts.
Yeah.
That's
Ion, do you have a tip for the group, sir?
I was gonna say what Hertz said in a lot more long-winded fashion. If I'm so, can I go last? I need to think of something else to say that might be helpful.
We'll come back to you, Spudcubs.
Oh, a tip for players in general?
Yes.
Hold on, Lauren. Can you teleport to the top of the fortress? I'm trying to take a cool screenshot. But a tip for any player is if you're looking for tutorials or you're looking for a way to find out how to do something, the best way is to get something that you know works or something that you like and reverse engineer it. Just take it apart and remove parts to find out what does what.
I agree completely. That is an excellent way to learn. Brick, do you want to add something? Do you have a tip?
Well, I'll think about it. Go on right now.
Okay, so
we've had 2 skips so far.
Okay, I guess I'll do mine. How many of you are all aware of the new ammo blocks? The 2 cubic meter and the 4 cubic meter.
Yes, I know where this is going.
Yeah, this is something I've been trying to make sure that everyone knows because it has been super helpful with my builds.
Wait. This is a headache. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I was going to spawn one on the table just to show, but this is frustrating. I click ammo storage and it opens the ammo storage submenu, but I have to click on the ammo parts box to open another submenu to see them.
Anyway,
you could get a mimic.
What I was going to say is with these part boxes, if you use the 2 or the 4 meter ones, they will not blow through metal beams at all. So unlike with the normal 1x1 ammo boxes where you had to use heavy armor and that would be the only thing that could stop it, with the larger boxes you can get away with using metal beams.
Okay, is that a feature or a bug?
I'm hoping it's a feature, because I'd hate to see this change because a lot of my stuff is a lot more lightly armored than it used to be.
Well, if that's a feature, I really disagree because I think that really does a lot of disservice to ammo in general.
I'm pretty sure that's a bug.
I hope it is. Because if
Anyway,
there's one ammo type that doesn't explode and one ammo type that explodes, it's kind of unfair.
Well, I think what happens is me and Heizmeister discussed this at length a while back, and you have one concentrated explosion versus a bunch of smaller ones that yeah. Thank you, Rhea. Yeah, thanks, guys. I just wouldn't ruin the whole damn thing. Anyway.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Rhea just sent me a message saying What was it Rhea said? Son of a bitch.
What was it? I don't know.
I can't find it now.
Who's planted the
Oh no.
Oh,
Rhea
no.
said she'll increase the damage.
Can I get a read from the Discord? Can I get a read?
Well done, Dama.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rhea.
Our fun has been ruined.
Anyway. Yeah, that was my tip, and then I went and did the whole damn thing. I apologize immensely.
Has Aeon given his tip yet?
Yes.
No, he's still thinking about it.
Are you still thinking about it, bro?
You can go and say whatever you're thinking of now. Go ahead.
I just want to mention. Tips. Oh my god! No, I need to remember this. It's so important. Campaign vehicles, battle sizes. Something I want to like personally touch on. Like, okay, I have big idea, guy, about like campaign reworking. Right, I want to help. I want to fix it. Right, I want to make it playable for all like this whole spectrum of gamers. You know what I mean? But I was thinking, instead of having like easy, medium, hard, and you just assign like one unit to a battle point, and then that's it. It doesn't appear in the other difficulties. How about easy mode? This X unit has 50 battle points, so it takes up like most of the fleet, right? It becomes a capital ship, right? But if you go into a harder difficulty, it becomes one of the more common units, so it takes up less battle points, to the point where you go on the godly difficulties and medium designs only take up 1 battle point. So in the 200 battle point areas, you could potentially have a swarm fleet of 200 ships coming at you, or 200 aircraft.
Yes. Marauders.
I just want to say yes, absolutely. This.
Wasn't it for new players?
Yeah. I mean, that you see some of the easier designs when playing Godly, but just, more of them.
It helps simplify like the frequency of easy to medium.
I think a lot of
designs and
people
higher
have that
difficulties.
problem. Yeah, they want to see more variation of designs.
I usually play on expert because when I play on godly, I only see morays and bulwarks and etc. I don't see any of the fleets that I'd like to see, like the godlies being the capital ships of the fleets and leading a group. That's what I want to see, because the battle point system, if you don't already know, is built to have like an 80-point unit can't be in a 150-point fleet twice, because it takes up more than half, and it's supposed to have subunits to it. That's how it's kind of built, but it doesn't. Obviously, from experience, it doesn't feel like that.
Okay.
In general, what I have thought about some tips is if you're building something, like testing it, and it doesn't work the way you want, actually sometimes it's better to step off and rebuild the whole thing from scratch than trying to update it over and over, because sometimes it might not work.
Yeah, that's a good way to keep yourself from going crazy.
And also, just plan ahead instead of build. Sometimes building just spontaneously is okay, but for most time, plan ahead. That's what can keep that. Yeah, that's a really good thing.
Okay. Do we want to still come back to you, bud?
Yeah, I've actually got something now.
Okay.
I also sort of something going way back to the section of like stuff you want in the game. It's a really small, really quick thing though. So may I add it really quickly?
Sure.
Something I would like to see in the game is a way to disconnect the steam propellers from the main engine power of the ship. Just so that I could have steam propellers running without demands of the rest of the ship actually draining away power from that steam system in question. Could be just like an alternate gearbox which lets the steam system run, but doesn't actually give power to the rest of the ship. I'd be fine with that, but just something that will allow the steam propellers to be independent of the main ship's power state.
May I make a comment on that?
Of course.
Okay.
We mentioned earlier how there was redundant systems in the game that seem like they need to be deleted, or like they're just unused. But I want to raise a point that it seems like 3 different games are being developed sometimes with how different the systems are, and with old FTD being reliant on you have like 3 different styles of powering, you have your electric engine, your fuel engine, you have your steam engine. But then you start developing like steam propellers, steam-specific things, steam jets, for instance. And it's kind of like, is this really how it was supposed to be in the beginning? You know what I mean?
Steam jets?
No, like anything that's specific to one single power source. Since we don't really have anything specific to the other ones, it seems kind of weird that Steam is being focused on like that, since it is the mechanically realistic.
That's because Steam is terrible right now.
I know, but it's like it's not going to
really
make it
like
better to
but Steam
offset
is
the game more.
Right now, Steam is terrible efficiency-wise. So
I think that's a good thing, because it creates
actually it's
a
not
lot
that
of
bad.
power.
Well, it is the worst Steam engine. The best Steam engine possible is 21 times more inefficient than the worst fuel engine.
Sounds like I need to revisit my maths.
Yeah.
Last time I heard about fuel engines and steam engines, people were preaching to me that, oh, the fuel engines are better than steam engines in every way. I'm sorry, the other way. People were telling me that steam engines were more efficient and effective than fuel engines in every way.
Well, it really depends. It depends on how you get your fuel. If you use a
your refinery system.
If you buy fuel, steam is more efficient than injectors. But if you have a semi-decent refinery, let's say 300 to 400 fuel per met,
I think
fuel engine gets more efficient.
I think more things in the game should follow that system, that train of thought of efficiency over effectivity and scaling with size, like fuel refineries and the engine systems. Things like the ammunition and the shield systems need to be updated to meet more of that kind of efficiency over versus effectivity. And on a second note, I think this is relevant to what we're saying. Based on what we just said about like immediate game balance and resources, and over the course of this stream, going back to Nick and his fleet commendations and being able to purchase, let's say, fuel and ammo on the fly or taunt enemies into war, that's a little bit like the Mountain Blade renown system. You kind of have a better chance at everything, and we can just pile that into luck as well. Or another skill point, or just not do it altogether, because I think purchasing things in the middle of a battle is just bad. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And if you want reinforcements, you do it naturally by making like localized instances of battle, and so like you can pull in reinforcements in real time, because the fleets would still be moving outside of that instance.
Agreed on this. Make it.
I'd like to add something quickly from Raz. Raz asks, why can't I plug in a propeller to the axis of a regular fuel engine?
Yeah.
Kind of like how steam props are used with steam.
That's what I'm saying. It's either or. It's either we make fuel engine propellers, or we make them all disconnected. Because it just confuses everyone.
Okay. Sorry, that simple little request, I seem to have thoroughly derailed things again. I apologize.
No, I agree with Rizal, but we probably need to start wrapping this up.
Yeah, what's our time check right now, Damadoc?
We're like 2 minutes past.
Is it Damadoc or Damadoc?
It's actually Damadoc.
It's Damadoc?
It's meant to be, but everyone just calls him Damadoc.
Yeah, you can call me Dama. That's completely fine.
We also have a Sakar, apparently.
If you ever join my Discord server, there's so many different puns we can make with your name.
I look forward to it.
Nick joined my server the other day. We just call him NICC. You know, Nick. Hey, is somebody smoking here?
I'm just having fun with mimics.
I absolutely love this. This is so cool. Can you just continue? I'm so entertained watching it. I really am.
You are very amused.
Oh,
I'm happy. It's a very rare thing for me to be in a state of, but I am happy today. So I'm taking advantage of it.
I feel like my nickname is perfect for your server then.
This is like a ton of fun, guys. I hope this is something we can do like on at least a monthly basis.
I'm sorry for you guys having to go through chemotherapy just talking to me.
Should I give my tip now?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
No, as I said, we got thoroughly sidetracked.
Yeah.
Okay. I suppose. since I can't talk about what it means to have a good vehicle, since Heizmeister already touched on that with his thing, that's why I had to stop and think for a while. My tip would be, don't be afraid to go back to a system and keep tinkering with it.
I agree.
Because you don't know if you'll find something which just suddenly clicks and makes sense to you, or something that works in a way that you like better than your previous understanding about it. I mean, at the start of this year, Dammer Dama, I'll just stick to Dammer, honestly, decided out of the blue that I am an expert at making offensive railguns. To this point, though, before like 4 or 5 months ago, I touched railguns like maybe 2 or 3 times in the entire 5 years I've been playing this game, and I never made a good one. It's just like, the start of the year, I revisited it, and suddenly it clicked, and I was making really effective ones, and it's like, oh.
On that note, I know we talked earlier about like doing this again, but with like a trade of ideas or like game knowledge. But before we wrap this up and I'll go, because I kind of have to go right now as well, I just want to openly invite all of you, as in like everyone in the server, as well as anyone in the From the Depths Discord, and anyone who sees this, I guess everyone in general, if you have any questions, I'd be glad to help, especially you guys like in-game, to like if you have any questions about certain vehicles that you might think my knowledge would be helpful on, or if they do change the ammo to like a refinery system, I would 100% want to like do a group campaign, because I would be like right back into FTD if they ever did that.
Awesome.
So on that, I think I'm gonna wrap up and leave here. Sorry if we're cutting it short, but I need it.
It's a good time for it. It's a good time.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you being here, Spudcubs.
Yeah, it was a great talk. Love being here, guys, and you all have a great day.
Yeah, take care, man.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, anytime.